He gets a toe on it, just poke it away. And Ludovic Ojork, and it's out for a throw-in on the far side, right in the corner. Shadara is getting ready to take, but will instead choose to take a bigger run up as he can and launch that one into the box. And it's headed away well. And Nuno Mendes and Achraf Hakimi will get rid of it, and it's landed at the feet of Luis Enrique in the PSG dugout. So Pierre-Lise Melu, the unfortunate man, the ball struck his hand. PSG claimed for it immediately. And the referee did not immediately point to the spot though, but after taking a look at the VAR screen, it became clear that it had indeed struck the outstretched arm of Pierre-Lise Melu. And Irfan Pelcio pointing to the spot. Vitinha rolling it coolly into the corner. And as we've played now 25 minutes here at the Stade de Rodoro, it's now Brest 0, PSG 1. It's cleared away by Marquinhos again though, as the hosts are putting PSG under a bit of pressure here, but they're going to have to go back to the halfway line with Chardonnay. And onto the right flank, and then sent back. And Chardonnay again, who in turn sends it back to Bizot inside his own box. So say 25 minutes gone here at the Stade de Rodoro, and it is Brest 0, Paris Saint-Germain 1. You're listening to live Champions League knockout round action here. I'm Mark Strange, live for Flash Score UK. Hooked forward by Hakimi, but Dembele's offside, and Koulibaly, rather nonchalantly goes back to his goalkeeper under pressure from Ruiz. Not sure if he realised he was there, but there's Nuno Mendes. Now on the left flank for Bradley Barcola, in behind for Dembele, but too long. And Bizot will come out and get that. We've played over half of this first half here, and well, you have to say that it's PSG who deserve the lead that they hold here. The Vitinha penalty has given them that lead, and good value for it so far. And that ball's scooped out onto the left flank for Hadara, but he gives it away to Doué, and now Hakimi. Neves to Hakimi. The goal scorer Vitinha. His head down, has a run there, Vitinha, but finds his way blocked, so he lays it off to Dembele. Now there's going to be a strike left-footed from Fabien Ruiz that was low and hard and takes a deflection off of Brendan Chardonnay, the captain of Brest, and out for a corner. Well, that one was not going to trouble Bizot in goal, but I don't think Chardonnay really could do anything else but get in the way of it, so that's a corner kick for the visitors. So we're taking here left-footed out swinger from Nuno Mendes. Navy blue shirts and red shirts all gathering around the 6-yard box. In it comes. That's away by Ojork, the Brest forward. It's going to drop for Vitinha, and well, I think he's lined up a shot there, but João Neves has got in his way, and so he has to go all the way back. Now it's out on the right hand side for Doué, and now Neves arrows one into the box. Ruiz at the back post will get to it. Marquinhos left it for him, but his ball in blocked by a red shirt, and Brest will break away here. Magnetti trying to go down the right touchline, and does really well there, and then down to ground goes Favre, and that's going to be a free kick on the right touchline, just on halfway for Eric Wau's side. So they've responded well to going behind Brest. They always knew they're going to be under pressure, but we have asked PSG some questions, but so far the Parisians have had all the answers. There's a ball forward down the right, not sure who was looking for, but in the end it's going to beat everybody to the sideline. Throw in on the left hand side, just inside their own half for PSG. So later on this evening you can tune in the other 3 ties this evening. We've got Borussia Dortmund against Sporting, Juventus against PSV Eindhoven, and then the big one, it's Real Madrid against Manchester City. A huge tie. Two sides now who are just getting very used to each other in Europe. It's usually later in the competition than this, but the two of them not at their best in the league phase of the competition. And of course Manchester City, up until the last 45 minutes of that league competition, were heading for the exit totally, so even to be in the knockouts is good news for them. Now here's Barcola down the left hand touchline, faced up by Lala. Barcola back to Neves, and Neves across, and Dembele was dropping over his shoulder. He tried to volley it left footed, didn't catch it well at all, and I say blazes over the bar, but that would lead you to believe that he hit it well. It just comes off his shin and up and over the crossbar Bizot, but the husband Dembele, he immediately looked to the ground, roared in frustration. He knew that was a chance, but as he swung his left boot out as it dropped over his shoulder, it just come off his shin and up and over the crossbar. But he certainly was given a lot more time there than the home defence would have liked. He's been fairly quiet in the opening 29 minutes, Ousmane Dembele, but just a reminder, as if Brest needed it, that he's there. Here come the hosts. Ooh, ball out the left, looking for the overlapping Haidara, but there was Hakimi again. He's all over the place, Achraf Hakimi. Now he sets away Desiree Doué. Now side onto the left corner of the penalty area for Barcola. Cuts onto his right foot, hits a shot that, well, was dipping but didn't dip enough, as Bizot can watch that one head over, or fly over his own crossbar. Bradley Barcola getting onto that dangerous right foot of his. I mentioned there as if they need a reminder of Ousmane Dembele. He scored a hat-trick in the victory 10 days ago, 5-2 that day. So he knows he has got the better of the Brest defence that way. The other goal scorer, Gonzalo Ramos, he's on the bench tonight, came off the bench that night and scored 2 late goals. In fairness, they didn't exactly blow Brest out of the water. It was 3-2 right up until the very last minute, but 2 late goals from the Portuguese forward Gonzalo Ramos. Really put the shine on that one. Vitinha, they had a lovely bit of skill that took him through a couple of 3 or 4 red shirts in the end. It was initially a lovely flick to get him between Favre and Sima, then he got past Lise Melu, but his pass for Dembele was just slightly overhit. But it was a lovely little bit of trickery from the man who has the only goal of the game, Vitinha, from the penalty spot around 10 minutes ago, after Pierre-Lise Melu was penalised by VAR for a handball in the box. Now here's Hakimi over halfway on the right hand side. Dembele dropping deep, certainly seeing more of him now. Ousmane Dembele, Hakimi overlapping, gets to the byline. Achraf Hakimi cuts it back, good block, and the spin on the ball actually keeps it in, so Brest have to deal with it, and they do. They were more alert to it than PSG were. I think they're waiting for the corner. The sliding challenger of Haidara, the English on the ball, it spun and stayed in play. And so they continue now. In behind goes Sima, trying to get the better of Marquinhos, but can't. And that's with Doué on the right hand touchline, midway inside his own half. Hakimi and Rui still inside their own half here at PSG. Just over half an hour gone. The Stade de Rodoro, you're listening to live Champions League playoff round action here. These two French sides, two French foes go to battle here. The first of 8 ties tonight and tomorrow. Another 3 tonight and another 4 tomorrow. And Paris Saint-Germain lead Brest 1-0 here. Ousmane Dembele down his haunches there as he waits for a throw-in to be taken. Maybe just get himself comfortable. PSG fans are hoping it's nothing more than that, as Nuno Mendes has ball in hand and throws it in back to William Pacho. And then Marquinhos and Hakimi. Doué, lovely skill there, goes past Haidara, gets down the right hand side. Haidara has a hold of his shirt, it must be a foul coming up, advantage played. He's into the box. Doué sliding challenge by Koulibaly. And it's behind for a corner kick, although I think Desiree Doué is perhaps claiming for a second penalty. He certainly, if he'd gone down as he went past Hedara down the right hand side, he would have got a free kick, but he was determined. He was heading into the box. We'll have a look here now. And I think Koulibaly could be in a bit of trouble there. No, don't think there's going to be a VAR check on it. It's gone out for a corner. Desiree Doué was slow to get to his feet. Only a corner for PSG, but it looked like only a corner last time before Pierre-Lise Melu was penalised. Nuno Mendes overtake this corner, and no suggestions that Irfan Peltio was going to have a look at the screen, or if he's being advised to. Koulibaly perhaps got away with one there, but corner kick it is. Nuno Mendes takes it. Left footer really deep, where Doué has peeled away, but it's so deep it's taken him nearly into the other far corner. Lala's out there with him, not much room for Doué, but he works in space, gets a right footer cross in well. And well, I was going to say those two are passing to each other, but Nuno Mendes is actually going into the box now, and it's going drifted over everybody and out for a throw in deep from a left back position for Brest. And well, that was a waste of a set piece, but PSG perhaps thought they should have had more. That's the second penalty, but nothing doing. Risky there from Lise Melu to Magnetti, but the men in red, the Pirates, hold on to it, and Hedara sends it down the line. Oh, lovely there from Sima. He's beaten his man to that ball. He's beaten Nuno Mendes too. He's into the penalty here. Sima, what a challenge! Great recovery that is from Nuno Mendes. In fact, it's William Pacho that comes over. It was Nuno Mendes was beaten initially by a lovely lovely nod on there by Sima down the left hand side, but it's the Ecuadorian William Pacho who comes in, steps in, and just pokes it behind out for a corner. Nuno Mendes caught out there slightly. Well, Pacho was pacey enough to recover, and perhaps Sima, he slams the advertising hoardings in frustration. Perhaps he felt he should have got a shot away before he allowed PSG's Ecuadorian centre half to get back at him, but as it is, it's going to be a corner here taken by Lala. And Irfan Peltio just having a word there with Ludovic Ajorc, and it looks like Fabian Ruiz who's marking him. Not exactly a like-for-like match in the middle, but that's two hands up. Lala to take the corner. Right footed in, swinger, header met off the post, and is so close to an equaliser for Brest. Not sure who got the touch on it, but PSG are breaking away here now with Doué, and he's fouled Chardonnay in the process. So free kick to Brest on the right touchline, midway inside the PSG half, but they're a post's width away from an equaliser there. I think it may have been Koulibaly, Chardonnay's centre half partner, that got up and met that corner. It's a brilliant delivery from Lala. Let's have another look here. It's hard to tell who that one's come off. Yeah, I think it's Koulibaly. There's a few bodies in there, and he glances a header on off the post. So they'll have another set piece delivery here, though. The Pirates, navy blue shirts and red shirts lined up along the edge of the box. Perhaps this one slightly less dangerous, at least from the first ball anyway. Lala to deliver. It's another good one. It's deep this time. There's three red shirts. It broke for a header back across goal, and volleyed clear and out for a throw in by Nuno Mendes. It was Sima that time peeling away to the back post. I thought maybe they'd overhit that one. That was clearly intentional. It's a brilliant delivery from Lala in that case, because three of his teammates peeled away to the back post, all onside, but well dealt with by Nuno Mendes. Magnetti with that ball in. Marquinhos was up for a header, but only glances it on, and Mendes has to mop up behind him, and he does. So PSG under pressure, but now Dembele looking for Barcola to break, but Chardonnay comes in with a strong challenge and sends it way down the pitch. And is it going to go for a goal kick? It does. It looked like that ball was just almost running along the touchline, but it goes out for a goal kick. But so close to an opener there for Brest. I think actually the last touch might come off Marquinhos. That one, had it gone in, I think may well have been an own goal. It's a pacey corner in swinger. And the ball rattles the post, much to the home crowd's dismay. We've now got about 8 minutes left until half time. It remains here: Brest 0, Paris Saint-Germain 1. Gianluigi Donnarumma sends the ball high up into the night sky, the early evening sky, really, I should say it. Showing here now stats that Brest have one shot, none on target. I don't know if they're actually counting that as a Brest shot, because I do genuinely believe the last touch to come off Marquinhos there, so it might have been an own goal had it gone in, but they're so close. And still they press here. Eric Wa's side. Ajorc flicks it in there. Volley clear of Marquinhos on the edge of his own 6-yard box. He's back out onto the right hand side. Favre, right corner of the penalty area. Away by Neves, not very convincing. Lou Barcola has to help on its way, and now Dembele, as PSG will break. They're still inside their own half, but there's numbers ahead of them. One of those is Doué down the right hand side now. He's approaching the penalty area for Brest. That's how quickly PSG have broke here. Right corner of the penalty. He's into the penalty now. Doué to the byline, cuts it back and wide. That was a great chance from Bradley Barcola. A super ball played back. Brendan Chardonnay is getting the claps in the back from his teammates are doing enough to put off Barcola, but he should have done better there. He just drifted in. Lala doesn't pick him up. I think he's a relief man. Chardonnay slid in, and Barcola rather hopefully claiming that might have been a penalty kick again, but nothing doing, says Irfan Pelcio, and that's just side-footed wide in the end from the former Lyon man. So both sides have come close to a goal. In PSG's case, a second goal. Ajorc with the flick on. Come close anyway to the first goal from open play anyway, if nothing else. Let's take a look there. Kvaratskhelia on the bench. And will Luis Enrique unleash Curiel Georgian. There's brilliant work there down the right hand side from Favre. Right corner of the penalty, delivers just behind Ajorc, and Hakimi, whoa, nearly side footed past his own goalkeeper as he came back to deal with that one there. So for the second time in quick succession, Paris Saint-Germain are inches away from scoring an own goal. It was brilliant work from Favre. It's behind Ajorc. It's about to actually drop for Sima, but Hakimi, my goodness me, one might actually kiss the post. The way past it is so close. That's another look from this angle. It'll tell us all. It does. For the second time in quick succession, Paris Saint-Germain strike their own post. And they are, well, bending but so far not breaking, but all that's down to their own, well, self-inflicted damage. So Lala now with a corner. It was the last corner he took was the first time that they hit the post. In it comes again. It's a low one this time. It's really poor, but João Neves with a clearance goes high and spins high up into the air, still in the box. Koulibaly brings it down away by Barcola, and now Neves is going to race Sima for that one that comes off the Brest man and out for a goal kick. So some sweet relief there for Paris Saint-Germain as they've got 5 minutes plus stoppage time left at the end of this first half here at the Stade de Rodereau. The first of 8 playoff tie first legs over the next couple of nights here, live for you on Flash Score UK. Mark Strange, whereas Brest 0, Paris Saint-Germain won. A penalty from Vitinha on 21 minutes after a VAR confirmed handball from Pierre-Lise Melu is the difference. At that point PSG were dominating. However, the hosts have come back into this game well, and we'll say they struck the post twice. PSG have struck their own post twice, and so it's almost some self-inflicted damage. First Marquinhos, then Hakimi. But Eric Waugh will be pleased, I'm sure, with his side's response. They capitulated a little late 10 days ago when these two met in the league. A 5-2 win for Paris Saint-Germain. That was 3-2 going into the 90th minute before Gonzalo Ramos got a late double. Something like that could potentially be a tie killer tonight if they allow that to happen, but they are still well in this game, well in this tie. And here's Favre on the right hand side. Kamara back to Chardonnay. His centre half partner Koulibaly. Koulibaly under pressure from Dembele, goes back to Bizot in goal, all in yellow, the Dutchman, and he sends one forward right footed down the right touchline. It's kept in out there by Favre. He turns and hooks it forward to Magnetti. He's holding off the challenge of Neves and does so again. There's Favre now down the middle looking for Ajorc, well dealt with by Pacho. And Brest, well, they're dominating the ball here. Let's pass a little while as Ajorc goes back to Bizot again under pressure from Dembele, but he gets it long. Header won by Mendes. Ajorc misreads the bounce and Pacho can get rid. And now here's João Neves, but he runs into Magnetti in midfield, and now Favre will come away down the right hand side. Lovely bit of skill there from Lala. He's down the right hand side now. The home fans are on their feet, and that's hooked out of play deep in his own half there from Fabian Ruiz. And PSG are under pressure here as we approach half time. Still they lead 1-0, but they have certainly been on the back foot for the past 10 minutes or so. Home fans making plenty of noise, their red and white scarves being raised into the air. Excuse me, but we have a throw in now for Brest, and I find that's a corner. I thought that ball going out for a throw in, but it's a corner kick as the red and white scarves are up behind the goal. It's a great sight. It's going to be Lala again, this time with a right footed outswinger. It was his in-swinger last time that caused problems, but that's a good delivery too onto the penalty spot. Chardonnay wins a header, comes off a navy shirt, hooked away by Neves. Back in there again, and Hidara, furthest man back for Brest, launches one into the box, but it's going to be too close to Donnarumma, who is quite happy to catch that and then just take it down to his knees. But then he'll look up and bowl it out to Achraf Hakimi, who along with his captain Marquinhos were the two PSG players who struck their own post. His coming back to defend a cutback was almost going to land at the feet of Sima, but the Moroccan intervened, but his clearance just ricocheted off the outside of the post and behind for a corner. So here's Pacho, perhaps look down to take the sting out of Brest's attack here, and well, Eric Wa's hosts will be probably not looking forward to the half-time whistle because it'll give PSG a time to regroup and stunt any momentum, but PSG now are the ones with the forward momentum. It's Barcola, left touchline, back to Neves, and he'll go right back again inside his own centre circle to William Pacho, the Ecuadorian. And Marquinhos, Hakimi, and Marquinhos, the captain, back to his goalkeeper into the last minute of normal time at the end of the first half, and we'll see very shortly what sort of added time our Bosnian official Irfan Peltio has added on. PSG still deep in their own half with Hakimi. A hard pass there, but well controlled by Vitinha. Now they can break, but they're outnumbered. Dembele's pass is poor and easily dealt with by Lala as he looked for Barcola. That's back with Chardonnay. Koulibaly to Lise Melu. Now Favre, Lala overlapping on the right hand side, right midway inside the PSG half, looking for Favre on the return again, but Ruiz gets there. He's under pressure, but he deals with it well, and PSG look to play their way out of danger, and they do. Mendes, nicely done. Vitinha sends Hakimi streaking away over the halfway line, the right hand side, loads of room for the Moroccan. He's got Dembele ahead of him on his right corner of the penalty area. Ousmane Dembele is a man in the middle. He's going to go himself into the near post, a left footed low finish, and what a sucker punch that is, right on half time from Ousmane Dembele, the man who scored a hat-trick against Brest 10 days ago, has his fourth in 2 games against the Pirates, and he may well have pillaged a huge half-time lead here for PSG. They were on the ropes there, Luis Enrique's side, and you thought maybe would have been happy to head in at the break 1-0 up, but it's Ousmane Dembele with his 5th goal in his 7th appearance in the Champions League this season, and it's a brilliant counter-attack. All started deep in their own half, and then it was Vitinha who sent Hakimi away down the right-hand side to Dembele. At that point it looks like there's nothing on, but he cuts inside, nobody in red closes him down, and well, Marc Bezo will be disappointed to be beaten at his near post, but it was low and hard from Dembele. Bezo with his body weight going the other way, and it sneaks inside the near post. And that's a massive goal in this game, in this tie. And I said that Brest will be disappointed to be going in at half time, as it will have all their momentum, kill their momentum, but now perhaps they'll be looking to get in at half time just to regroup. 2 goals behind now, and that, even at this stage, could be a big goal in this tie. In the league clash between these two 10 days ago, it was just a 1-0 lead at the break, and then all of a sudden all the goals came in the second half. But again, this time it is PSG. You look, they're going to be heading in at the break here at the Stade de Rodouro. 2 goals up, although there's a foul from Achraf Hakimi and Ludovic Ojork, just on the edge of his own box. It could have PSG in some trouble. So perhaps what may well be the last play of this first half. Lala over the free kick. PSG. It's Barcola, and it's 3 out of absolutely nowhere. The cameras missed it, but PSG are 3-0 up, and it's Desiree Doué who has Bradley Barcola to thank for just unselfishly squaring it to him for an open goal. And just as Brest started this second half well, another hammer blow from the Parisians, and it is Brest 0, Paris Saint-Germain 3. It's Nuno Mendes plays the pass to Fabien Ruiz. Down the line there's Ousmane Dembele. Barcola playing right on the shoulder. That's really poor from Koulibaly, and it is nicely just unselfishly laid off by Barcola for Doué. He draws in Beto, has a look, knows that Doué's there, and he side foots it home into the empty net. And well, this tie, this game is getting away from Brest. Goals, 2 goals in the first 5 minutes after half, within 5 minutes of each other either side of the break. Now we are going to have a check to see if Bradley Barcola was onside, so maybe there will be a reprieve. But for now it is 3-0 to Paris Saint-Germain. I'm just wanting to check if Barcola had stayed the right side of Koulibaly. If he has, it's 3-0. If not, I say there is a reprieve for Brest, and I don't know if he's just trying to play them a gamesmanship. Marc Bizot, the goalkeeper for Brest, has set the ball down where he thinks the free kick will be taken from. He's not sending the ball back to the centre circle. Irfan Pelciu, our Bosnian official, is getting some word in his ear. We haven't seen any replays of it here, but just joining us, PSG look to have gone 3-0 up, but there may be an offside in the build-up. Bradley Barcola getting in behind the home defence and squaring it unselfishly for Desiree Doué to side foot into the empty net to make it 3-0. But has Barcola perhaps gone a little bit too early? That is what the officials are trying to figure out for our Bosnian referee, Irfan Pelciu. He's talking to the captains, Marquinhos and Brendan Chardonnay. We still haven't seen a replay here ourselves, but the officials are certainly taking their time. Well, this would be a real hammer blow for Brest, who went 2-0 down on the stroke of half time and may well go 3-0 down within 5 minutes of the restart. Now, the referee appears to be getting word in his ear, and offside is given. And indeed, the goal is chalked off, so no goal for Desiree Doué. Bradley Barcola has strayed offside, so Brest get themselves a reprieve. Have a look at it here. Yeah, he looks to have just... he's leaning slightly. It's really unselfishly done from Barcola to square it to Doué, but the referee gives the international symbol for just a little bit to Marquinhos, who's coming over to question that one. So, Brest have a reprieve. Can they go up the other end and... well, turn it around? But no, that ball will flick out off of Sima and for a goal kick, but there's no third goal here for Desiree Doué for now. But that'll be a warning shot for the Pirates. The Parisians mean business here. They've already beaten them by a 3-goal margin 10 days ago. 5-2 in the league, and Ousmane Dembele hat-trick, and then 2 late goals from Gonzalo Ramos off the bench. He's on the bench again tonight, along with their January signing Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. There's a header won there by Sima above Pacho. They're looking for a free kick, Brest, but no, the ball's back at the feet of Donnarumma. Well played down the right flank, and inside of play from Hakimi. So Hidara will take the throw in midway inside the PSG half. Dinked forward by Lise Melu, well dealt with by Marquinhos and hooked away further by Joao Neves. Headed back in by Chardonnay. Jork wins a flick on, and Nuno Mendes takes a rather awkward touch and then sends the ball high up into the night sky, and it'll come off Lala, the Brest right back, and out for a throw in. So we've now played 9 minutes of this second half, although a good chunk of that time has been taken up checking the VAR, which has ultimately disallowed what PSG thought was a third goal. Offside against Bradley Barcola. Selfishly square for Desiree Doué to score, but doesn't count. Here's Hakimi on the edge of his own box. Achraf Hakimi. Back to Marquinhos, and now Pacho, his centre half partner, on the edge of the box. He pings one out there with his left foot, looking for Doué, but it's well read by Hedara, who wins the header, but wait for a throw in favour of Paris Saint-Germain, who have sent the Georgian Kvicha Kvartvelia, seemingly covering his face there with his bandana and his hat. And now here comes Mendes. Barcola, left hand side, midway inside the Brest half. Here's Vitinha, the man who scored the penalty so coolly after Pierre-Lise Melu was penalised for a handball, which was confirmed by VAR. So VAR has gone 1-1 today in favour of decisions. Now here's Hakimi on the right hand side, a man who came inches away from scoring a comic lone goal, saved by his own post. Here's Doué through the legs of Lise Melu. Comes back here now for Dembele. He looks for Mendes up in support but can't find him. Now York will try and come away for Brest. He nutmegs Fabian Ruiz and goes inside Nuno Mendes. Good work there from Ludovic Ojork, and there's a free kick given for a foul on Kamara. And Brest quick to go, but oof, my goodness me, Kamara nearly played that pass into the outstretched leg of Ousmane Dembele. Nodded down now from Vitinha to Hakimi. Lovely work there. Now here comes Hakimi again. He's got Dembele ahead of him, but he travels without the ball. And now Brest will come back at it. And free kick given to the host there for a foul in midfield that Lise Melu will lay off for Koulibaly, and he fires right on the right hand side for Lala. Right on the right touchline. Faced up there by Barcola on halfway. Luis Enrique urging a side to press, which they do, but Bezo still with an easy goal kick. Here's Lala trying to shake off the challenger João Neves, and he does, still going Lala. Now down the left flank he goes. Favre cuts inside under his right foot. Favre going to hit one from range, but it's never going to come down. And that is not going to trouble Gianluigi Donnarumma. So just over 10 minutes gone in this second half, where it remains Brest 0, Paris Saint-Germain 2. You're listening to the first of 8 live Champions League clashes here live on Flash Score UK tonight and tomorrow night. This one here at 5:45, the only early start this evening. Others at 8 PM, Juventus, PSV Eindhoven, Sporting against Borussia Dortmund, and the big one, Manchester City against Real Madrid. And tomorrow's Brugge Atalanta is the early kickoff. They've also got their Celtic against Bayern Munich, Feyenoord and AC Milan. Feyenoord who sacked manager Brian Priska after a fairly poor follow-up to Arne Slot's job that he did at Feyenoord. The other game tomorrow night, Monaco and Benfica. And French side into the playoff round. Here's Dembele, lovely little flick, but not read by Fabian Ruiz. That one was lovely, and behind for Dembele. Is this three? No, he's put it wide. Should have done better. Ousmane Dembele, he knows how to score against Brest. He's already done it tonight. Hat-trick 10 days ago, but he fires that one wide. How that one got to him, I'm not really sure. His initial flick, lay off to Vitinha, couldn't be held on to, and then Magnetti was robbed by João Neves, who played a lovely little back heel in for Dembele. It's a narrow angle in fairness to him, but a striker of his quality must surely be hitting the target from there, but he doesn't. So a let off again for the Pirates. Can they plunder their way back in this one? Pacho hooks it forward with his right foot over the halfway line, sent back by Lise Melu. Marquinhos side foots it down for Neves. Now Vitinha, lovely little touch there by Doué to João Neves, midway inside the Brest half. Dembele, and Doué just never really continued his run, and that one will run through into the gloves of Bezo. And maybe the reason why he didn't continue his run is Desiree Doué is limping slightly there, so one to watch. Although, I mean, what a sub you would imagine to bring on in Kvicha Kvartvelia. There's Ruiz. Robbed by Kamara on the right touchline. Blocked out a play by Barcola. Approaching the hour mark. No sign of a sub for either side so far. There's Chardonnay. Forward with his right foot. Chested down by Marquinhos to Pacho, who then left foot turns, sends it down the left touchline over the head of Barcola, won by Lala. There's Favre now. Nice little flick, but the spin just takes it away from Kamara. And just to say that there is actually a red shirt down there. I can't quite pick out the number just yet, but as soon as I know that, I will let you know. Throw in it is though for Nuno Mendes. Here's Hakimi. On the right flank there for Doué. Looks to be, potentially if I've read that right, the number 6 shirt of Edmilson Fernandez, the man formerly of West Ham United on loan from Mainz in Germany. Free kick taken quickly there on the right hand side by PSG. Here's Vitinha. João Neves. Ruiz miscontrols, but Mendes is there to help him out. Now it's Dembele out on the left flank, midway inside the Brest half, and PSG just seemingly happy to roll the rock around here. Here's Mendes again. Back to Neves. João Neves. Sprays one out onto the right flank where Vitinha takes it down well. Back to Marquinhos, and now Pacho, and is he going to go back to Donnarumma? He is, under pressure from Ojork. Actually 2 subs for Brest getting ready. One of them is definitely Edmilson Fernandez, but in the meantime down the left here come PSG. It's Barcola, he's got men in the middle. Barcola goes alone per effort. It's going to come down for Dembele though. Chance is not gone. Dembele looks for João Neves, he leaves it a bit short. Barcola should have done so much better there. He had options in the middle. He could have passed that one, or his shot could have been stronger, but it's not. An easy save for Bizot, and PSG wasting another chance there. The other sub looks at the 14 shirt of Mama Balde, getting ready to come on for Eric Wild's side. So PSG chances in the opening 15 minutes. Brest getting a reprieve every time. Now there's a nod down from Kamara, but Mendes gets there before Ojork and goes back to Donnarumma. Hakimi now. Vitinha, Dembele, back to Hakimi, right hand top. Right hand touchline midway inside the Brest half. Level of Edmilson Fernandez and Mama Balde for Brest, and here they come now. So the first man to go off is Magnetti, and Sima are the 2 men off, and Fernandez and Balde are on for Brest here with 63 gone. Still 2-0 down. Eric Watt perhaps looking to get a bit of a charge into his team here, as it is throw in taken by PSG. And there's Neves under pressure immediately from Balde. Marquinhos gets it away. Not a great pass to Mendes. He does a brilliant job to flick that one on. Now Barcola down the left touchline. Bradley Barcola. He's got pace here. Is he going to run at Chardonnay? He's going to let Mendes in behind. Bizot read it well though. Superb by the goalkeeper. Came sliding in way out of his goal to get there before Nuno Mendes. Really good reading of the game. But now Fabian Ruiz has it left hand side, midway inside the Brest half. Neves. Back to Pacho. touch. Nice play there from Dembele to avoid the challenge. He's back to Marquinhos on the halfway line, and we are about to see the Mercurial Georgian Kvicha Kvaratskhelia signed for Napoli in January. For who we shall see. It is say Desiree Doué. Looked like he was maybe limping a little bit not so long ago. Haven't really seen him since. Here he is now though. Hakimi on the right hand side, inside for Neves. Lovely touch there. And trying to hold off the defenders is Vitinha without any success, but it'll come away all the way back to Pacho inside his own half for Paris Saint-Germain. 65 minutes gone here at the Stade de Rodereau, home of Ligue 2 side Guingamp, but Brest temporary home in Europe this season, and we'll be hoping this isn't the last time they play here, but they'll need to do something soon if they're not going to make it difficult at the Parc des Princes next week. Here's Dembele, cuts on his left foot, nice touch there from Doué, back to Dembele. Dembele's got in 6 yards from goal. It's 3-0. He makes no mistake this time, and he just can't stop scoring against Brest. Ousmane Dembele with his 5th goal in 10 days against the Pirates, and after having one disallowed just after half time and having their chances since then, PSG do open up a 3-0 lead. And when you're on the road in the first leg with a trip back to the Parc des Princes next week, one has to be concerned for Eric Roy's side. This lovely little build up there. Doué and Hakimi initially, and then Dembele and Barcola link up. And it is slightly fortunate though, it's Haidara with the last touch, but nobody for Brest reacts. Dembele is the quickest one to react. Chardonnay slides in, gets a little bit of a touch on. I don't know if that takes it over the hand of Bezo, but either way, it's Ousmane Dembele's goal, and on 65 minutes here at the Stade de Rodereau, it is Brest 0, Paris Saint-Germain 3, and indeed we are going to see that sub now. No respite at all for Brest, as it's Desiree Doué who is withdrawn on 66 minutes for Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. And it is Paris. He comes into a game now that his side lead 3-0. And yes, oh so crucial first leg here. There's Marquinhos under pressure from Balde, but does a good job to get that ball away to Hakimi. Good chasing though from Balde, and it's a throw in to the visitors. Or not, perhaps. So really good work indeed from Mama Balde. I think Balde is actually perhaps claiming a hand there against Marquinhos. They try to scoop it up. No, I think it sort of hits him around the badge, around his chest, but given away there though. And now here's going to be a shot from range, save from Donnarumma, and away by Marquinhos for Jorge could get in there. Slid out for a throw in, so good response there from Brest. The strike I think came from Pierre-Lise Melu, a low and hard one that Donnarumma parried, and Marquinhos got there before Jorge, but it's going to be a throw in on the right hand side from Lala. He's leaning right up against the advertising hoardings on that side, trying to get as much room as he can to make this long throw. In it comes, a good one. Mendes with a flick on, it's dropped for Balde, he just couldn't get a strike on it. It was just going to drop over his shoulder. He looked like he could strike it in the volley from 6 yards, but no. It was actually Kamara with the effort. My apologies. It was saved by Donnarumma. He put it back into play though, and fortunately for him, his captain was there to react well. Brest thought they had a throw in there, but not so. And it is Paris Saint-Germain ball, but well, as they did in the first half, after going a goal down, Brest respond well, but can't breach Gianluigi Donnarumma, and PSG maybe now settle back into the way of things. There's a foul there on the far side, so free kick. Is the free kick going the way of Brest? No, it's going the way of PSG there. Well, in fact, I think Marquinhos, he's been penalised. Well, I don't know how many times players are going to have to learn this one here, that you play to the whistles. Well, the first things you learn when you're young. Marquinhos thought he'd been fouled there by Mama Balde, who admittedly was rather physical on his back. But as he hit the ground, he went to pick the ball up for the free kick, and the referee penalised him for handball. So Marquinhos will be kicking himself. And if Brest manage to score from this free kick, it's right on the left touchline, about 25 yards from goal. Taken by Lala. It's got a right-footed in-swinger. Players in navy blue and red right on the penalty spot. Lala's delivery is a good one, but it's the man who conceded the free kick, Marquinhos, who rises highest to get rid. Fernandes. Delivered in by Favre. Hooked back out onto the right for Balde, who's been energetic since coming on. He's on the right flank now, faced up by Vitinha. But he teases one in there, but volleyed clear, not very handsomely, but does the job. Nuno Mendes. Barcola chested on. He's going to try and get in the end of his own ball, and in the end, well, he collides with Haidara, and the two of them are down the ground. Kvaratskhelia, he thought he was away in for a first Champions League goal for PSG after getting his first league goal last weekend. That's a yellow card for Bradley Barcola, who, I don't know if he fell or sort of threw himself at Haidara there, but it's a foul right on halfway on 70 minutes, and it's a free kick. Yeah, I think that's a bit harsh from Bradley Barcola. He slipped into Haidara. It's a free kick for sure, but I think that yellow was a little bit excessive. We're seeing here now the goal that was disallowed, and my word, it's so much closer than you would think. Just 4 minutes into the second half, and Barcola got in behind and unselfishly squared for Doué to top home. And whenever I said at the time, the referee gave the international symbol for just a little bit to Marquinhos, and he wasn't kidding. That was tight. York with the flick on. Oh, down the ground goes Fernandes. Claims a penalty. Nothing doing. This is our Bosnian official, Irfan Pelcio. Now away come PSG with Kvaratskhelia. Vitinha. Mendes. That's dreadful. Straight at Balde, but Pacho mops up, and PSG just need to settle down here. There's no need for them to be playing risky football like that. Now it's Barcola who gets it off Hakimi. Now João Neves. Back again to the edge of the box where Marquinhos is there. Hakimi back to Marquinhos again on the edge of the box. And PSG now. They seem to have a bad habit here where they just seem to put themselves under unnecessary pressure. They did it again there. But now they're coming away with it. Down the right hand side is Barcola and Kvaratskhelia are nice SWAT wings. Kvaratskhelia is on the left, Barcola on the right, having played up until that point on the left with Doué on the right. And now we're going to have another change here for Brest, and it's going to see another striker into the fray. That's Favre coming off, and Kamari Doumbia, who is joining us here for the last 18 minutes or so. The home fans certainly haven't been put off by the scoreline. I mean, they're having a dream season in their first ever season in Europe, let alone the Champions League. Ball through. Marquinhos was waiting for Donnarumma to come out. He took a little bit of time, but eventually the Italian plunges in that ball. I'd say the Brest fans thoroughly enjoying their historic season in Europe, but one has to feel that this may be the last home game they get. Next week's trip to Paris may be the last of it for them. We shall see. There's ball back to Marquinhos, and Pacho inside the 6-yard box. Nicely flicked on Mendes to Dembele. He comes deep for it. He's on a hat-trick. Oh, lovely from Kvaratskhelia. That's a yellow card for Chardonnay. Kvaratskhelia let that one run. Was about to turn the Brest captain. He pulled him back. Yellow card. It was only on halfway, but that could have been dangerous had the Georgian got away there. Brendan Chardonnay wasn't going to let him at any cost. It's a lovely bit of skill from Kvaratskhelia. He actually doesn't even touch the ball. He lets it run through both he and Chardonnay's legs, but Chardonnay wasn't going to let him go after it. So free kick just inside their own half here. Vitinha will take it, and PSG are so in control now of this game and of this tie. I mean, I don't think anyone would fancy going to Parc des Princes with already a 3-0 lead for PSG, and it could get more here. Dembele out on the left for Kvaratskhelia. Has Vitinha ahead of him. He's approaching the penalty area, plays it in behind for Neves. He gives a thumbs up. It's just too long. And Kvaratskhelia. And we're going to see another sub here for the Parisians. Going to be the South Korean international Lee Kang-in, who is going to join us. Place of Bradley Barcola. He's had an energetic game as usual, ever so slightly offside. He thought he'd set up the second goal, or third goal, sorry, just after the break, but not so. He's going to be withdrawn now for the former Valencia man. He is going to join us for the last 15 minutes. We're at the Stade de Rodoru. Chardonnay, oh, that's dreadful. Giving us straight away there. Dembele, he's on a hat-trick. He's in the box now. Dembele twisting, turning. Is he going to shoot? It's deflected or wide. Oh, so close to the hat-trick. Another second hat-trick in 10 days against Brest for Ousmane Dembele. It's a crucial block in the end from Koulibaly, because Bezo had been wrong-footed, and had Koulibaly not got in the way, I think that one's nestling in the net. So Kvaratskhelia is going to take this corner here, right-footed out swinger, and then he plays it short to the right corner of the penalty area for Hakimi. He lays it across the edge of Vitinha, loads of time, sets himself, but he didn't have as much time as he thought. It was blocked by Kamara. Balde now in a foot race with Nuno Mendes, which Nuno Mendes doesn't win. Balde's out muscled him. Nuno Mendes still with him, but Brest have the ball on the right hand side. Nuno Mendes at least succeeded in slowing him down, but Mama Balde has been a real thorn in the defensive side since coming on here. And now he's going to get on his bike and chase this ball into the right corner. He keeps it in, but at what cost? The cost is that Nuno Mendes can get back at him and PSG win it back. That's really good defensive work in the end from Nuno Mendes, but he was under pressure there for a bit. There's Vitinha on the edge of the box. João Neves to Lee down the right hand side now for Paris Saint-Germain. Lee Kang-in 1-2 with Hakimi. They just slow it down. They're into the Brest half now. No need to rush for the Parisians. Kvaratskhelia right onto the right touchline for Hakimi again. Lee, Hakimi. Lee overlapping, but Hakimi chooses to ignore him. Dembele, he looks for Lee, but the pass is deflected into the path of Koulibaly. Haidara now wins it back, and Lee is on his shoulder. Koulibaly wants to go back to his keeper, but Dembele blocks that path, and PSG are pressing high up the pitch. They do now go back to Bezo, who has a bit of time to play one forward with his left foot. Ojor takes it on the chest and holds off Marquinhos. There's Doumbia. Kamara now to Lala on the right flank. 13 minutes to go. Plays one down the line, blocked by Fabian Ruiz, and that's a free kick handball, which the Spaniard doesn't really protest. So free kick in the right wing, midway inside the PSG half. Lala to Les Melu. He spies one out onto the left flank for Haidara, who's getting further and further forward as the game goes on. Les Melu holding off the challenges. Looks for Ojork, blocked though by Pacho. It's going to go all the way back to the halfway line for Chardonnay, under pressure in Kvaratskhelia. That's Lala. Oh, lovely pass inside there. Doumbia, right corner of the penalty. Is there a goal back for Brest? No. Good block it was. In the end, it's Kvaratskhelia getting back there, and Pacho completes the clearance out for a throw in on the right hand side, midway inside the PSG half. So Brest haven't been without the pressure. They've managed to keep the pressure on, but without really testing Gianluigi Donnarumma too much. Still, as we played 78 minutes now, their best chances in this game were ones in the first half where PSG hit their own post twice. Ball into the box, and it's a good one though. Marquinhos didn't look too comfortable, but does the job out for a corner. 12 minutes to go. Yeah, at the Stade de Rodouro. Kamari Doumbia is over to take it, as the red and white scarves continue to wave. And here's another man who has had Brest's number lately, Gonzalo Ramos. When Dembele got the hat-trick 10 days ago, he got the other two that day. Doumbia with the ball deep in though. It's kept in. Is it a 3? No. Somehow stays out. The ball into the back post was kept in. Knocked down for Chardonnay, who played it across the 6-yard box with all the composure of a forward, and now he's out of position. PSG are on the attack. Dembele's offside. He has to leave it. Hakimi's not, but Bezo comes out of his goal. It's all very chaotic, but Brest should have had a goal back there. Poor touch from Vitinha, invites Doumbia onto that one. João Neves is challenging with him. That ball deep into the back post. kept in there. Chardonnay plays it across the 6-yard box, and Ojork can't get a touch on it. João Neves with a heavy touch, so he's trying to win it back off Kamara, but now here's Lala. And he goes back to Chardonnay again, who had all the composure of an experienced forward there, but just couldn't finish it off. Well, played out onto the right flank. Fernandez takes it down the chest. Slows things down, looks ahead for his options, and looks for Balde, but he's just slowed down in his tracks by Pacho. And Donnarumma can come out and grab it as we approach the final 10 minutes here. You're listening to the first of 8 UEFA Champions League playoff round ties here. The all-French affair. The first, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, since 2009-10 season when Lyon and Bordeaux faced off. The debutants Brest, first French debutants to make the knockout round since 1957. And now here's a ball down the middle for Kvaratskhelia, well dealt with by Chardonnay. They lost by 3 goals 10 days ago, and they're 3 goals down again here, and with a second leg to come in Paris next week, this is not ideal for Eric Roy's side. History still made though. This way they'll be going part of the way towards falling to a familiar domestic foe. The number 9 shirt of Gonzalo Ramos still waiting now. You'd imagine it will be Dembele he replaces, so perhaps no chance for the Frenchman to get a second hat-trick in as many games in less than a fortnight against this opposition. Now here's Neves, Kvaratskhelia. Lala gets back, but Kvaratskhelia just plays a safe pass to Vitinha. Back to Pacho, and PSG, well, happy just to slow things down. I'm sure they wouldn't say no to a fourth, but they're not in desperate need of it, that's for sure. Vitinha. To Mendes, couple of red shirts have joined Gonzalo Ramos waiting on the touchline there. See what number that is, or they are, should I say, in a minute. And here's Dembele, he's dropped out onto the right touchline. Lee loses out, that ball's out of play, so we may well get these changes now. Vitinha, Ruiz. And now Neves, 84 gone here at the Stade de Rodoro. Brest 0, Paris Saint-Germain 3. Paris Saint-Germain, well, it hasn't been all one-way traffic. They've certainly had the better of the chances in this game. There's Pacho. Dembele. Marquinhos out onto the right touchline, just over halfway for Lee. Back to Ruiz. Marquinhos. Ruiz again. PSG just happy to roll the ball around. I mean, I'd say they'd be fairly confident of progressing with a 3-0 win going into next week's second leg at the Parc des Princes. Arrowed forward from Vitinha right onto the foot, right there on the right hand side of Hakimi. And Lee making the run ahead of him, and foul is eventually given against him. I think that's another one for PSG where the foul has gone against them for grabbing the ball whenever they go in the ground. It happened Marquinhos in the first half, and now happens to Lee Kang-in in the second, but Brest are deep in their own left back area. As we get a look at Luis Enrique, arms folded on the sideline. He'll be happy with his side's evening's work. Not over yet though. Here's Neves. Kvaratskhelia, 86 minutes gone. Mark Strange live for you here. Champions League playoff round action from the Stade de Rodoro. There it is. Brest 0, Paris Saint-Germain 3. And the first of the 8 ties to be played over the next 2 nights. Have you covered for all of them. Here's the ball forward there from Ramos. Onto the right flank for Hakimi. Infield from Ruiz. Now Pacho. Striding out defence. Ruiz from a sweeper roll there like a Franz Beckenbauer. Here's Hakimi, looks for Vitinha. Bit of a heavy touch, but he does keep it. Salah and Koulibaly almost sandwich him out, but no free kick given. And here comes Fernandez. Challenged by Lee, ball one back. Now there's lots of navy blue shirts coming forward. Here's Vitinha, finds Kvaratskhelia. Into the box goes Kvaratskhelia, good challenge by Lala, then nick it off his toes. And he clears away down the right flank where Mendes will recycle back to Pacho inside his own half. And he gives it to Neves. Now Marquinhos down the right flank. Hakimi midway inside the Brest half. Lee back to Ruiz on halfway. Pacho. Just really PSG just seemingly content to wind the clock down. Not much jeopardy in this game now. As I said, I'm sure if they got a fourth they'll be happy enough, but not too many sides can go to the Parc des Princes and give Luis Enrique's men a 3-goal advantage and come away with anything. Stranger things have happened though, so I mean, PSG were of course on the receiving end of one of the most famous ones. 6-1 defeat at the Nou Camp, having beaten Barcelona 4-0 at the Parc des Princes in their first leg. So they'll know all too well, so that'll certainly be etched into supporters' memories. Here's Neves to Kvaratskhelia, left corner of the penalty area. Does he have support in the middle? He does. Hakimi stayed up. Neves trying to jink his way through, but can't. Too many red shirts in the way. They'll drop back for Vitinha. He's going to hit one from range, spilled by Bezo. Far enough away that Lala can get there first, and Bezo doesn't keep you up. He's in his own box there to try and get that ball under control. Sends it away downfield. Lajorc holds off Marquinhos and plays it in to Salah down the left flank. Ibrahim Salah, not Mohamed. where Liverpool fans are getting concerned. Into the final minute of the 90 here now, where it is Brest 0, Paris Saint-Germain 3. In the first leg of this Champions League playoff round tie. Strike from Doumbia takes a wicked deflection. And that's going to be played out onto the right flank for Lala. There's Pereira Lage. His cross is blocked. Back to Lala, faced up by Kvaratskhelia. Pasho comes out of defence to poke it away from him, but now it's with Koulibaly. He slips, he plays a pass out there for Pereira Lage. And his cross is overhit, but wow, I almost caught out Donnarumma. That's not what he was intending, I'm sure, but Donnarumma had to nearly fall back into his own net and parry that one over the bar. That one was dropping in the goal, so certainly the Italian had to do something about it. So a corner, as the clock now just about ticks over minute 90. 5 added minutes it will be. And we'll start with the corner. Pereira Lage takes it. Header won well by Marquinhos, helped on its way by Ramos, and then hooked away further. Back in it goes. Marquinhos beats Lajorque, so Brest going to keep fighting here right in the stoppage time. Lajorque hits one, comes off his own man, takes a wicked spin. Ruiz can't get it away. Balde, his shot's blocked away, and then Vitinha will give it to Donnarumma under pressure, and he does just about get that one away. Owen Ramos has fallen over here, but Makimi nearly got through, but Lala, a good job to recover, but it's going to be a free kick. The PSG for that foul by Lala on Ramos, just on halfway. Not that Paris Saint-Germain are in too much of a hurry to get that ball forward. As we get a look there, Ousmane Dembele, 5 goals in 2 games within 10 days against Brest. They certainly, we're glad to see the back of him, although we'll have to see him again next week in Paris, where Paris Saint-Germain are going to take a commanding lead into the second half. Here's Salah trying to cut into that lead slightly. Balde, Lala with room down the right hand side. Kvaratskhelia tracking back, he gets the ball in, it's behind everybody, and arriving at the back post, the shot's blocked and away by Pasho. Salah again arriving at the back post, who had a shot blocked. Let's go back to Chardonnay on halfway, as Brest will have to recycle all the way from the back. Haidara on the left hand side, midway inside the PSG half. There's room for a shot there from Doumbia. No, he just plays a pass straight into the feet of Marquinhos, and now Lee will try and bring it away for Paris. Nice touch there from Ramos, who then has his feet taken out from under him in the centre circle. So Gonzalo Ramos just being a very useful outlet for PSG since his arrival onto the pitch. Maybe, well, still time for it. He scored 2 goals late in the league victory 10 days ago. Not too late for that. If he were to do that again, well, it would be a commanding lead. But 3-0 already. 2 goals in the first half. Vitinha's penalty, and then Dembele right on the stroke of half time, after PSG at the back have been creaking, almost scored a couple of own goals, saved by their own post twice. At the start of the second half, Desiree Doué thought he had a third, ruled out for an ever so slight offside against Bradley Barcola, as he unselfishly squared it to Doué. And then the third did come again from Dembele. And Brest, well, they've had the ball in the PSG half, and there was one from a corner. Chardonnay squaring it back to this man, Lajorque. He couldn't put any finishing touches on it, but we still 2 minutes of the 5 added on here. Mark Strange with you this evening. Hope you've enjoyed this one as much as I have. And first of 8 Champions League ties tonight and tomorrow. We'll have them all covered here for you on Flash Score UK, as will we have for the second legs next week. Vitinha, Ruiz, and now Neves. 84 gone here at the Stade de Saint-Germain. Well, it hasn't been all one-way traffic. They've certainly had the better of the chances in this game. There's Pasho. Dembele. Marquinhos out onto the right touchline, just over halfway for Lee. Back to Ruiz. Marquinhos. Ruiz again. PSG just happy to roll the ball around. I mean, I'd say they'd be fairly confident of progressing with a 3-0 win going into next week's second leg at the Parc des Princes. So arrowed forward from Vitinha right onto the foot, right there on the right hand side of Hakimi. And Lee making the run ahead of him, and foul is eventually given against him. I think that's another one for PSG where the foul has gone against them for grabbing the ball whenever they go in the ground. It happened Marquinhos in the first half, and now happens to Lee Kang-in the second, but Brest are deep in their own left back area. As we get a look at Luis Enrique, arms folded on the sideline. He'll be happy with his side's evening's work. Not over yet though. Here's Neves. Kvaratskhelia, 86 minutes gone. Mark Strange live for you here. Champions League playoff round action from the Stade de Rodoru. There it is. Brest 0, Paris Saint-Germain 3. And the first of the 8 ties to be played over the next 2 nights. Have you covered for all of them. Here's the ball forward there from Ramos. On the right flank for Hakimi. Looking field from Ruiz.
than Colomwani. Only Roberto Baggio can match these numbers. And when it comes to PSV Eindhoven, I believe that they are a team that they can still hit you on a good night. They got a terrific counter-attack as well, very fast players. And Ivan Perisic is there. I'm really curious to see how he does, because he's a player that I always consider that he was very clever, very good on the flank, and you know, he's going to be one of the players to watch.
He certainly is. Goals as they go in from that match and from the match between Sporting and Dortmund. But back to our featured commentary. The light show has subsided. The Real Madrid players are walking down in the tunnel. They'll be met by their Manchester City counterparts very shortly. Let's hear from those two legendary coaches now then, Carlo Ancelotti and Pep Guardiola. Ancelotti first here, speaking about this recent rivalry between the two clubs.
The most difficult rival, the most important rival, as I said, against the best manager. I think that the team that passed through this qualification has the possibility to arrive far in this competition, as usually was in the last year. The last 3 years who won this qualification won the Champions League. It maybe can happen also this year.
There are a few clubs in Europe that, for the history, for everything, always it doesn't matter where. In the group stage, on the knockout stage, always is difficult. We have not done, I would say, quite well in group stage, so we deserve to be that we are. So the draw is the draw, and accept the challenge.
Pep Guardiola's won this competition as a coach 3 times. Carlo Ancelotti has won it 5 times. The players are in the tunnel. I love looking at who goes up to who. Erling Haaland and Vinicius Junior shared a very big hug, and then he went over to Kylian Mbappe, Joe Shannon, and had a lovely moment. Those two superstar centre forwards, very much friends off the pitch by the looks of it. They're about to become enemies on it, at least for the next couple of nights.
Well, that's the pre-match moment that I think everybody wanted in the build-up, wasn't it? The two great goal scorers in European football, head-to-head in the tunnel, and then, as you say, out on the pitch shortly. But there are numerous battles, aren't there, Chris, all over the field tonight, individual battles in all areas of the pitch that in a game like this are going to be so key, and that all adds up in the round to make a really outstanding contest, we hope.
Remember, these two giant football clubs didn't finish in the top 8, so they didn't go automatically through to the round of 16 in the new format this season. It meant they had the lottery of the draw. They were paired together, and for us neutrals, that is a brilliant thing, as they walk out with the referee Clement Turpin, pick up the new star ball for the knockout stage, walk through the Road to Munich 25 arch and out onto the pitch on a fairly miserable, fairly typical Manchester evening. Will it be Ancelotti or will it be Guardiola, as the two coaches now embrace as they come to the touchline? And we can't wait on UEFA Champions League Matchday Live. You're listening on UEFA.com, the official UEFA Champions League app, and across America on Sirius XM FC. Paris Saint-Germain have already beaten Brest tonight by 3-0 away from home. The games between Juventus and PSV and Sporting and Dortmund are kicking off. There's 4 more first legs tomorrow to look forward to, but sit back and enjoy this one, because at the early stage, on Tuesday the 11th of February, Manchester City and Real Madrid have run into each other in the Champions League, and the first leg Well, enjoy it in the company of the European football expert Alvaro Romeo and your match commentator Joe Shannon.
Well, fascinating to see Ancelotti and Guardiola on the touchline. Smiles from both, two of the finest coaches pitting their wits once again. And I often wonder, two great brains of European football for all time, what is being said in those little moments pre-match. And of course, we don't usually get an insight into that kind of thing, but it's fascinating to see two great coaches on the touchline again, and of course an abundance of European riches on the field. Ederson is the Manchester City goalkeeper, Akanji, Diaz, Ake and Guardiola the back four. Stones in the deepest lying midfield role with Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne pushing up in front of them, and then Savinho, Grealish and Haaland the front three. For Real Madrid, the UEFA Champions League holders, of course, Courtois is in goal, Valverde, Tchouaméni, Asensio and Mendy, Camavinga, Ceballos and Bellingham, Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe are the front three. Manchester City in the sky blue shirts, white shorts and dark blue socks, and Real Madrid in the change kit of bright orange with a sort of metallic blue trim. Here we go. For the fourth time in 4 seasons, it's Manchester City against Real Madrid in the knockout stages of the UEFA Champions League. A classic rivalry for the 21st century at European football's top table, and the first of 2 legs in a bid to reach the last 16. Chilly, murky dark skies up ahead at the City of Manchester Stadium, and Manchester City get the tie off and underway, playing from right to left in the first half, and Real Madrid from left to right. City goes straight back to Ederson in the opening seconds at walking pace. An early touch for Ruben Diaz, and now out in the right back position, Manuel Akanji. Forced back to Ruben Diaz, and now Ederson again under pressure inside his own 6-yard box. Very calm with the ball out to the left back area, and Joško Gvardiol, he finds the retreating Jack Grealish, and Manchester City with the early possession. We've seen so many classic ties between these two over recent years. This one is just as difficult to call. Real Madrid now high up the field with Rodrigo. Early ball down the middle aimed at Vinicius Jr. Ederson makes a sprawling stop on the edge of his 18-yard line. And it's Manchester City 0, Real Madrid 0, as John Stones strides forward over the halfway line for Manchester City. An intriguing night, an intriguing 2 weeks lies ahead for us on UEFA Champions League Matchday Live, Alvaro.
And if I may add, a very intriguing position of Joško Gvardiol as well, because he's playing as a holding midfielder, paired up with John Stones. I can see that on the left, Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish are doubling up. So, you know, Gvardiol is in central positions, but in midfield.
And now Grealish is fouled on the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Referee Clement Turpin in a perfect position to see it. And Manchester City have a very early free kick. We're live on UEFA.com and the Champions League app, as well as on Sirius XM FC in North America, as Manchester City get the early opportunity to put a good ball into the penalty area from a very dangerous angle here, Alvaro.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good run by Jack Grealish, audacious, daring, in my opinion, as well, because he had like 3 opponents surrounding him, and he got probably the best he could, because he got this fault. It's pretty dangerous. Manchester City has 5 centre backs and 1 big striker like Erling Haaland on the pitch, so a lot of aerial power too.
The rain is pouring down here in the northwest of England. Manchester City unbeaten, would you believe it, in 35 home European matches since losing here to Lyon on Matchday 1 in 2018-19. Kevin De Bruyne is whipping the free kick, right-footed in towards the near post and headed up and behind by Fede Valverde, and Manchester City get the first corner 0-0.
It was a very clever ball by Kevin De Bruyne, looking for the first post. Erling Haaland was the target of that, but Fede Valverde was the saviour.
And this is at the north end of the City of Manchester Stadium, packed with home supporters. Kevin De Bruyne with the corner, right-footed in, swinging into the near post, headed away. And Rodrigo knocks the ball down to the edge of the Real Madrid box, and now they can tear forward on the counter with Jude Bellingham. Crossfield ball from right to left, collected by Mbappe, just inside Manchester City territory. Threads the ball down the left-hand side to the feet of Vinicius Jr. Pink boots on, crossfield ball intercepted by Bernardo Silva. to the cheers of the Manchester City fans. John Stones collects possession. Early ball towards the halfway line and Kevin De Bruyne. And there's a lot of experience in this Manchester City side tonight, Alvaro. And average age of the starting 11 of just under 28. Pep Guardiola has lent heavily, hasn't he, on the tried and trusted this evening?
Yes, 100%, because he could have relied, for example, on Rico Lewis, but he didn't for this game. I think he preferred the experience of Akanji, and I find it absolutely normal. I think the youngest player on the pitch for Manchester City right now, and I'm speaking out of my memory, must be Erling Haaland, or Savinho maybe. Savinho, yes, but the rest of the players are pretty experienced as well. That in contrast, for example, with Juventus. This is quite funny, but Juventus doesn't play today any player who is over 28. So look at the difference.
Here come Manchester City infield from the far side to the right, to the midway point of the Real Madrid half. Stones with an elegant ball up to the right-hand edge of the penalty area. De Bruyne tries to pull it back, and there was a double deflection initially off Mendy, and then off De Bruyne, and it's a goal kick to Real Madrid. 4 minutes played on UEFA Champions League Matchday Live. Pep Guardiola out to the edge of the touchline. It's Manchester City 0, Real Madrid 0. Speaking
of Juventus, Alvaro, they are still at 0-0 against PSV at home. They've had a decent chance. They are doing most of the running in that game. Still 0-0 there, and still 0-0 between Sporting and Dortmund. Those games both in the 5th minute, kicking off at the same time as our featured commentary. And a reminder, if you're just tuning in, one match has finished tonight on the first night of the knockout phase playoffs, first legs. Paris Saint-Germain won 3-0 away from home at Brest. They're in a great position to reach the last 16.
You would expect this tie will be very keenly fought and closely contested, often as it has been in matches between Manchester City and Real Madrid, up until near enough the final kick. 0-0 inside the first 5 minutes. Manchester City enjoying most of the possession and territory so far on what really has a big game feel about it. This in the inaugural knockout round playoffs for the UEFA Champions League after the thrills and excitement of the league phase. And now Real Madrid have a throw on the far side of the field in their left-back position that Ferland Mendy will take. Infield to Bellingham. He's robbed of possession by his England colleague John Stones, and Manchester City now have a throw just inside opposition territory.
And I had the feeling that Pep Guardiola has detected that maybe Real Madrid has some weaknesses at the back, because Rudiger, Alaba, Militao are all out. And that's why, for example, in the previous corner, or the first corner they took, they put 4-5 really tall players just for the header. And I think that this is going to be something that maybe Pep Guardiola and relish particularly, but the dead ball can be one of the keys in this game. Real Madrid is not playing with any centre-back, really. And Manchester City has 5 on the pitch. Only Ruben Dias was the one staying back, just to make sure to stop the counter-attack. But I think that the dead ball or the set pieces can make a difference today.
It'll be fascinating to see, won't it, as the game goes on, whether set pieces do come into play. Alvaro Romeo, European football expert, with us for commentary tonight. Real Madrid have possession, easy possession, on the edge of their own penalty area. Asensio's ball out to the left-back position now, where Bellingham is standing. Back to the edge of his own box. Real Madrid in their change kit tonight, a bright orange. Thibaut Courtois finds Aurélien Tchouameni, again inside his own penalty area. Back to the very experienced goalkeeper Courtois, twice a UEFA Champions League winner since joining Real Madrid. Heavy touch by Vinicius Junior, glancing blow out to the halfway line infield by Bellingham to Mbappe on the halfway line. Half tackled, but they're quick to win it back, Real Madrid, with Dani Ceballos in a tight area just on the halfway line. Square ball to the feet of Camavinga with the long hair, and now back to the midway point of his own half, where Tchouameni is waiting. And of course, so many subplots in this game tonight. The head-to-head between the two number 9s, Haaland and Mbappe, just one of many. And with 7 minutes gone, it's felt like quite a cagey affair so far.
It is cagey. Manchester City has had most of the possession, but right now Real Madrid is resting with the ball, with Camavinga just offering himself to give the first pass. I want to see how Camavinga does today, because he's been out for a little while. Yeah. I've got a little bit of doubts about him completing 90 minutes, but let's see, because physically he's a prodigy as well.
Early ball laid down the middle towards Kylian Mbappe. Quick off his line was Ederson, the Manchester City goalkeeper, to sweep it away via the touch of Akanji, out to play for a throw.
Yeah, and this is the biggest danger that Real Madrid can cause to you. I mean, the through balls to Kylian Mbappe or Vinicius, but especially the Frenchman, because he's playing as a number 9 tonight, they can be very dangerous. So Ruben Dias will have to be very, very careful, very wary as well, and sprint back as soon as he can, because otherwise Real Madrid can be deadly in these kind of situations.
Well, Manchester City know all about what it's like to come up against Real Madrid number 9, a Frenchman on form in the Champions League. And this time it's Kylian Mbappe taking to the field against them. He's had to do up his bootlaces.
Probably you remember when Kylian Mbappe had his best, one of the best European nights of his career against Manchester City, playing for Monaco.
Yeah,
that was in 2017, and we were all puzzled with the speed and the finesse and the quality of that young player.
Well, there's just a slight delay at the moment as we wait for the game to get back underway. I wonder whether Mbappe is going to need a new boot, and in fact a new pair of boots have been ready for him. 8.5 minutes gone and it's 0-0, and Mbappe's off the field, and Real Madrid are temporarily down to 10 men while Mbappe changes his boots. Here's Courtois, all in lime green tonight, the goalkeeper. High right-footed clearance upfield. Nathan Ake chests the ball down in the centre circle, overhits the pass towards Grealish, and then over the top from Dani Ceballos. Vinicius Junior is clear on goal, touches heavy. Oh, he's brought down by Ederson. And that, well, they wanted a penalty, Real Madrid, but I think the flag has since gone up. And Vinicius Junior was in an offside position, and so it will be a free kick.
Yes, but Manchester City should be very, very, very attentive and careful at the time of playing such a high line, but they did it very well this time, I have to say, because I think that Vinicius was maybe like 50 centimeters, half a meter offside. Anyway, we'll have the confirmation right now, but yes, it could have been a penalty, but the play was already invalidated, so I think that this game on.
Well,
I don't even know if it was a penalty, really, when I see it for the second time.
In front of the Real Madrid supporters, but good refereeing from Clement Turpin to let the game play out. VAR is checking for a potential penalty, but the check is quickly over.
Yeah, it is over. Well, it's risky to play with such a high line, but I want to remind everyone that, for example, Real Madrid played a Clásico against a very high line, and they didn't capitalize. So I hope that they learn from that game if they want to beat Manchester City. Having a high line is not a synonym of having a disastrous defense, but Manchester City will have to play very well in this system, otherwise it's difficult.
Haaland with a heavy ball up the Manchester City left wing position, and it's out of play for a Real Madrid throw. You could see what he was trying to do, turn the ball into the path of Bernardo Silva, and now Haaland pressing on Courtois, who manages to work the ball out towards the left-hand side, the left-back position, where Mendy eventually finds Dani Ceballos. Quick touch forward to Jude Bellingham, just shy of the halfway line is Vinicius Junior, who nutmegs Ruben Dias and tears into opposition territory. What a ball to Kylian Mbappe, right into the penalty area, denied by Ederson, who makes a good save diving to his right-hand side. What a ball by Vinicius Junior. The pace of that Real Madrid attack bamboozled Manchester City. 0-0 the score as they win it back high up the field again. Mbappe out to the right-hand side. Now Rodrigo, right corner of the penalty area, held up by Bernardo Silva. Mbappe about 20 metres out. Sets up Rodrigo again. Mbappe with his back to goal in a congested area. Edge of the D is Rodrigo. He's floated it through to Mendy, who tees up Vinicius Junior. Mendy again, denied by Ake from point-blank range. Incredible football from Real Madrid in the tightest of areas, teasing with Manchester City, and it was teed up for Vinicius Junior, and a wonderful block from Nathan Ake.
And I tell you what, we may have the temptation to say that they overdid it, but I think that they didn't. It was just a mistake of execution in the last chance, in the last touch by Mendy, but it was a glorious chance, and Real Madrid crafted it very well.
Corner whipped into the near post, and it's headed away by Erling Haaland, and then the volley from Ceballos scooped up into the dark night sky, and Ederson is there to claim, and it's still 0-0.
Wow, what football from Real Madrid. If they'd scored a couple of those chances, it would have been one of the great team goals of this season's UEFA Champions League. Still 0-0 elsewhere in the games between Juventus and PSV, and Sporting and Dortmund, but what a start in Manchester.
0-0, here come Manchester City in the 13th minute. Savinho with the cross, headed away from inside the penalty area by Asensio, and swept further away by the Real Madrid captain upfield towards Mbappe. And now the game is starting to open up, and this is exactly why meetings between these two are so often so riveting in the UEFA Champions League. Mbappe infield to Vinicius Junior. He can't control it midway inside the Manchester City half, and Grealish will play the ball back to the feet of Ruben Dias.
Well, I can see that Real Madrid sniffed the danger.
Oh, it's electric, and Vinicius Junior is cleared out the middle, and Nathan Ake makes an important challenge. He was sandwiched in between two sky blue shirts. Ake got back, and Ederson, he's able to plunge onto the ball.
But if you're going to play with such a high line, not only you need attention, you need to be accurate when you play the ball from the back, and you also have to press your opponent a lot so they cannot turn back and give the pass. And I think that Manchester City's pressure hasn't been so far as fierce as it has to be. Real Madrid is finding a lot of space, and the likes of Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinicius, I would say Ceballos as well, are spending a lot of time on the ball. And Manchester City, I don't think that can afford that. The pressure of Manchester City has to improve, or at least has to be more intense.
How sharp is Nathan Ake? Not played since mid-January, and already a couple of vital interventions inside 14 minutes.
And it wasn't a penalty. I think Nathan Ake knew exactly what he was doing, and his move was very good. A very good defensive move.
He's on the ball now, just to the left edge of the centre circle, Ake. And he gets the return pass from Joško Gvardiol, who is operating in that inverted position for a moment. Bernardo Silva inside left channel. Jack Grealish with those weaving feet, taking on Valverde. Dribbles towards the dead ball line, and he's trying to whip in the cross left-footed. Valverde stuck to the task at the expense of a corner to Manchester City, away to our left-hand side.
Yeah, it's not easy to leave behind Fede Valverde, so I think that Jack Grealish got a lot from it, really. This corner is going to be dangerous as well. I repeat that Manchester City has a lot of tall players on the pitch today, and Real Madrid doesn't have any centre-back.
Kanji, Stones, Ake, Gvardiol, Haaland.
Yeah. The only nominal centre-back is Asensio.
Here comes Kevin De Bruyne to take the corner, right-footed and in swinging, whipped into towards the edge of the six-yard box, headed away and then hit over the top by the onrushing Savinho on the half volley. The 20-year-old sends it skywards and over the top of the crossbar, 0-0.
Wasn't easy for Savinho. I think that Dani Ceballos was very quick to get in front of the ball, and then Savinho had to improvise that volley. It didn't work, but it's good for Manchester City to release the pressure a little bit after the double chance that Real Madrid had 4 minutes ago. Manchester City is back on track. They had a corner, they had a little bit of possession, they rested with the ball. You know, they survive, because Real Madrid is a little bit like that. Suddenly they managed to do this, they managed to create 2 chances or 3 chances in the space of a minute. You just have to survive it.
Well, there's a liveliness about both sides, and Real Madrid in particular, with the electric pace that they have in attack. And Real Madrid, who are atop of La Liga, a point clear of Atletico after the derby draw, the Madrid derby draw at the weekend. And Manchester City are 15 points behind the Premier League leaders Liverpool. They look very much up for the task ahead, though, tonight, live on UEFA.com and the UEFA Champions League app. A quarter of an hour gone, and intriguing in the first leg of this knockout round playoff tie. Manchester City win it back with Savinho, who skips beyond the defender, right edge of the area, tries to pull it back, cleared away by Asensio. De Bruyne's first to the loose ball. He's beaten Ceballos to it. About 10 metres from the corner flag. Little back heel down towards Savinho, blocked off, and Real Madrid come away with possession on that far side of the field. Vinicius Jr. hugging the touchline, and Mbappe let the ball run across his body cleverly to elude Haaland. And then a sweeping ball to Rodrigo, who's still about 10 metres shy of the halfway line. Early ball up the middle towards Mbappe. Ederson having to play very high out of his goal, and not for the first time tonight. The starting position is good, and he's able to clear.
Well, he has had decisive interventions already in the game, not only a very good save on Kylian Mbappe, but I also believe that every time he has had to step up, maybe like 5-10 meters over the box, and he has done it very well. He's an outfield player in a way when Real Madrid has the ball, because Ederson has to pay attention, and every time there is a through ball, he has to sprint forward if he can, just to clear the danger.
Courtois' clearance high upfield is headed away by Manuel Akanji. Manchester City have it a metre or two into Real Madrid territory. John Stones with that long-sleeve sky blue shirt on, gestures to the Manchester City players around him just to slow the pace momentarily. Such an experienced player, John Stones. He's been at the City of Manchester Stadium for more than 9 years now. Grealish on the halfway line, meanders infield from the left and plays it back to Ruben Dias once more. Manchester City 0, Real Madrid 0. Nathan Ake shy of the halfway line, out to Bernardo Silva. Ancelotti and Guardiola standing on the edge of their respective technical areas, either side of the halfway line. Carlo Ancelotti in the dark suit, Pep Guardiola in the coat and scarf. Ederson has the ball, and he's chipped it to the right-hand side, where it's chested down by Ruben Dias deep inside his own half. Akanji on the stretch, on the slide, back to Ruben Dias. It's a slick playing surface tonight. A lot of rain in the build-up. Manchester City with De Bruyne dropping deep to the left-back position. Good reverse ball up to Guardiola, who's held it up in front of Rodrigo. Another reverse pass down the inside left for Haaland to chase. This time in a much more advanced position, about a metre or two from the corner of the penalty area. Dink over the top by Grealish, and now Haaland is in! Haaland has tucked it in! The flag stays down and Manchester City lead! Who else but Erling Haaland, especially in the Champions League? That's 48 Champions League goals in 48 appearances. He just loves this competition. And Manchester City strike first in a classic UEFA Champions League encounter. Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 0. It was chested by Guardiola into the path of Haaland, and from point-blank range, he couldn't miss.
A new development on the game. We didn't see it coming when Real Madrid had a double chance in the 10th and the 11th minute. But this time Manchester City played really well. I think that just Guardiola was the key in all this, because he started the move, then he did the run. Jack Grealish gave an exquisite pass to the Croatian, and then the pass to Erling Haaland. Not sure if he's offside or not, the Norwegian. We'll see, we will see. The goal so far went in the scoreline, but I want to see what the decision is. Erling Haaland had never scored a goal against Real Madrid, so maybe this is the first one he does against Los Blancos.
Well,
we'll have to wait and see.
It's a fine finish either way. Slight angle against the giant Thibaut Courtois. Erling Haaland, who recently scored his 250th senior club career goal against Arsenal in the Premier League. And the video assistant referee is checking now, because of course there is a potential offside in the build-up when Guardiola chests it into the path of Haaland.
It looks like the goal could stand, but you never know. I think that we have to wait. Great moment for Manchester City. Erling Haaland did it very well with the left foot. He volleyed the ball into the net. Thibaut Courtois, there was very little he could do. And again, the run of Josko Guardiola was key. The Croatian did a terrific move. He started with the first pass. He ran 50 meters. He got the ball from Jack Grealish. He did pretty much the 75% of it.
But will the goal stand? As among those watching on from behind the substitutes bench, Manchester City's Rodri, who's still out injured, and Clément Turpin, the on-field official, in communication with Jérôme Brissat, the video assistant referee. Less than 20 minutes into the game, and Manchester City hoping that they have taken the lead in the first leg of this Champions League knockout playoff round tie. Haaland, the man to apply the finishing touch, and Ancelotti and Guardiola speaking about what's going on the field at the moment. Haaland hoping that he's got his 48th UEFA Champions League goal, and of course they've got to make sure that the decision is exactly right, which is why the check is still taking place, and it's certainly the bone of contention is whether Haaland was offside when Guardiola chested it into his path. That's what they're checking.
No, absolutely, absolutely. That is exactly the moment. They're looking for the right frame, obviously. We'll see.
Fantastic move from Manchester City in the build-up, really, from back to front near enough.
I think that Josko Guardiola has been the most enigmatic player of the game, because he's not playing as a left-back, especially in possession. He's playing as a midfielder. But he has been able to use the left channel this time, just to make it happen, or to make it almost happen, because we still don't know whether the goal will stand. It will be the first goal of Erling Haaland against Real Madrid again. I say that before, but that is quite remarkable, because he has played a few games against Real Madrid, but he's never been lucky enough to score against them.
Clément Turpin's got his hand to his ear, and he's now speaking with the Manchester City captain, Kevin De Bruyne, and the goal is given. Manchester City do lead by a goal to nil. Erling Haaland's 26th club goal of this season.
And what a goal, again. It was beautiful, and Josko Guardiola is strange, but he has become probably the second or third best attacking asset of Manchester City. Out of the blue, really, because he's a defender. But he's got so many layers to his game that he can do these things as well. We know that defensively he's, you know, an expert, but I never expected him to be such a good attacking asset, really. This season he has been phenomenal. And I say it again, I know that this is the goal from Erling Haaland. Congratulations to him. It's good to score against Real Madrid, but Guardiola was the architect of the goal, in a way.
And so, the 2023 UEFA Champions League winners lead the holders by a goal to nil. And the first leg atmosphere is absolutely stirring here in Manchester. Long ball over the top by Ruben Dias, and the flag stays down against De Bruyne. Right corner of the penalty area, the angle is tight. Asensio slides in with a well-timed challenge. That'll be a corner to Manchester City.
And this is one of the best things of Asensio. He's very fast, and he can tackle whenever it's needed. He did it against Julian Alvarez a couple of times in the derby of Madrid last Saturday. These kind of tackles to win the battle against the Argentinian, and this time he has beaten Kevin De Bruyne, who has some physical issues. I think that he got a knock. Hopefully he will be able to continue. He's walking well at least, and he's just managing to get in place again.
Midway through the first half, in comes the corner from Savinho, and an easy take for Thibaut Courtois. A metre or two out from goal, and a quick throw to Kylian Mbappe, about 10 metres shy of the halfway line. He's poked it into the path of Vinicius Junior, who evades the sliding challenge of Bernardo Silva, races up the left. Excellent tackle from Savinho, who's really pumped up, punches the air in front of the Manchester City fans, and you can see that City, the motivation is great against a Champions League rival with whom they've enjoyed so many memorable meetings from down the years. I have to say, Alvaro, we knew that there would be goals tonight. We knew it wouldn't be 0-0.
Yeah. Of course, Real Madrid and Manchester City have had issues this season defensively. They both attack really well. They've got some of the best players in the world in the attacking department, and you know it was coming for sure. I was just laughing a little bit about what Savinho did before, because he was celebrating that he tackled Vinicius very well, and he forgot that he had to follow the game, and Real Madrid had taken the throw, and Savinho was still celebrating it.
Here is Bellingham for Real Madrid, out to Vinicius Junior, left edge of the penalty area, taking on Akanji, couple of step overs, the angle against him. Oh, he's bent it onto the crossbar. What an effort from Vinicius Junior, with little to no backlift, and Akanji right in front of him. He whipped it towards the corner, took a deflection, I think, off Akanji.
Yeah.
Might be a corner.
It should be a corner kick, yeah. Well done by Akanji, by the way, but Vinicius so dangerous. I think that this is the first shot that he takes in the game, and look at it. He went in the crossbar.
Corner to Real Madrid, 1-0 down. In by Rodrigo, headed away by Akanji. Come back to Rodrigo, dead ball line, not next to De Bruyne. Whips it onto his left foot, goes near post, and it's turned away by Akanji. The amount of attacking quality that we're seeing in this game is mesmerising at times, and as usual, in matches between these two sides, the pace is pretty blistering as Guardiola slides in this time on Tchouameni, who's upfield, and it's a throw to Real Madrid, level with the edge of the penalty area.
And for me, Vinicius has been really spectacular today. He's got fire in him, but Rodrigo is so subtle. I mean, we have forgotten about that, but he gave such a ball to Mendy for him to score, like in the 10th minute of the game. Now, he went past Kevin De Bruyne with such an ease as well. He's a silky footballer, a very important one. I know that Pep Guardiola likes him a lot, and I can see why.
Just the 26 minutes of the two-legged tie played so far. They'll meet again next week in the second leg back in Spain. Before that, both teams have important league games to come, for Manchester City at home to Newcastle, Real Madrid away at Osasuna. Edison very calm with a 10-metre ball forward to Stones, and now Guardiola right in front of the dugout, forward to Grealish on the halfway line, skips infield away from Camavinga and plays a square pass to the feet of Ruben Dias. Manchester City leading 1-0 thanks to Erling Haaland. Out on the right is Savinho, all left foot as he plays the ball back in field. Ruben Dias back to the lip of the centre circle now, and Akanji again. Towards the right is Ruben Dias, and out on that far side, hugging the touchline, is Savinho. No way through beyond Dani Ceballos, and out of play for a throw to Manchester City. Pep Guardiola will be delighted with what he's seen so far.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there are things to correct, I guess, because Real Madrid at the end of the day has created a couple of really clear chances. But other than that, I think that Manchester City is offering a good level. I would say that this is one of the good moments of the season for Manchester City right now, and I think that I'm not exaggerating. They are winning in a Champions League game against the leader of Spain, and you know, I think that Real Madrid is one of the most dangerous teams in Europe, so I think that Manchester City should be happy about their performance so far. But this is not over, and there is a player who hasn't appeared yet, like Jude Bellingham, and he's an option that Real Madrid can use in the second half, because as we saw against Atletico de Madrid, when Real Madrid is losing and needs a goal, Jude Bellingham and his aerial power can make the difference for Real Madrid too.
So 1-0 here to Manchester City. What a game. It's goalless in the other two late kickoffs tonight, these first legs of the knockout phase playoffs, the first time we've seen the knockout phase playoffs, and what drama we've had in Manchester. Luke de Jong's gone close a couple of times for PSV away at Juventus, and it's still Sporting 0, Dortmund 0.
Vinicius Junior, left corner of the penalty area, taking on Akanji, is backing off. The low cross turned away by the Swiss international. The ball's retrieved by Ferland Mendy, right in front of the Real Madrid fans by the corner flag. Now Dani Ceballos, 25 metres out with an effort that rises over the top, and Ederson, one arm flung up into the air. I think he had it covered anyway. The Brazilian goalkeeper stays 1-0 to Manchester City.
And just a reminder, Joe, earlier it finished Brest 0, Paris Saint-Germain 3 in that all-French tie. Tomorrow, 4 more first legs. Club Brugge host Atalanta. In the East End of Glasgow, Celtic welcome Bayern. Feyenoord host AC Milan, and it's Monaco against Benfica. 2 nights of Champions League football this week, and as you've been mentioning, 2 nights next week. And then we find out which 8 teams join the other 8 in the last 16. A problem for Jack Grealish.
And Phil Foden is stripped and ready to come on in the sky blue of Manchester City. It looked relatively innocuous, Alvaro, for Grealish at first, but he can't continue.
No, it looks like this is it for him. He's not going to be able to carry on in this game. Luckily for Manchester City, they've got options for this position, because Phil Foden can play here on the left, yes. Also, the likes of Jeremy Doku are on the bench, so he could also have a step up in this moment. But yeah, at the end of the day, Manchester City are going to bring the PFA Player of the Year in Premier League 2024. So it's not a bad option to bring in a Champions League tie.
3 times he's scored in the UEFA Champions League this season. Foden, on he comes for Grealish. That was maybe the big dilemma for Pep Guardiola before the game, whether to go with Grealish or with the younger player. And now Foden takes to the field half an hour in.
Feel a bit sorry, Joe, for Jack Grealish. Probably the first big game he started since December, and
yes,
began really well, and 30 minutes in, a change for City.
Well, and he began so well, Chris, that he gave the pre-assist in the goal of Manchester City, because he was the one passing that ball to Josko Gvardiol for the Croatian to Brest. I think Jack Grealish was playing really well, testing Fede Valverde as well. Let's see how Phil Foden is right now. We know that sometimes he would prefer to play in central positions rather than the left, but this is his reality right now, and you know, there is an opportunity for him to shine. Why not?
Well, he had been struggling a few minutes prior after a Manchester City corner, so he anyway has realised that his race today at least is run. Manchester City lead Real Madrid 1-0. Half an hour gone, live on UEFA.com and the Champions League app. Also all around North America on Sirius XM FC. Manchester City have the ball on the halfway line with Savinho. Infield square pass to the feet of Stones in the centre circle. Now Akanji collects possession, and there's a great interchange and versatility about these Manchester City players.
Yeah, with Phil Foden playing on the right and Savinho on the left. So there has been a big change over there. It's not the first time Guardiola changes flanks. I remember him doing that in Matchday 1 of the Premier League between Savinho and I believe it was Jeremy Doku that time. And this time again, Phil Foden goes on the right, Savinho on the left.
Great fluidity about Manchester City so far tonight. Bellingham was caught momentarily, is now back on his feet. Here is Bernardo Silva, just shy of the halfway line for Manchester City, who feel like they've got control of the game at the moment, but of course, such is the potency of the Real Madrid attack that 1-0, especially in the first leg of a knockout playoff round tie, is a very dangerous scoreline.
It sounds like a very skint advantage, really, with Manchester City. Let's don't forget. Sorry, with Real Madrid, let's don't forget it. Having some of the best scorers in the world, not only Vinicius and Mbappe, but also Rodrigo is a very good goal scorer, and Jude Bellingham. I don't forget that last season he scored over 20 goals too.
Manchester City go long to Haaland, who plucks it out of the air impressively in front of Tchouameni, lays it back towards the halfway line where Stones charges forward, threads a 20-metre ball towards the edge of the box, and Bernardo Silva. Now Savinho takes over from further out. Stones in a central area, steers it wide to De Bruyne, 20 metres out, dinks the ball into the box, and header away by Bellingham in front of Foden, the 2 England internationals going head-to-head. Foden from the right plays the ball backwards for Manchester City, who are keeping really good possession here in the last few moments, and possession that was similar to the build-up that they had for the only goal of the game so far. Tucked away very neatly by Erling Haaland from close range. Ball over the top towards De Bruyne, covering is Asensio by the corner flag. He's tripped, and the assistant referee rightly raises the flag, and it's a free kick to Real Madrid, who are a goal down.
Yeah, we're thinking that it's not an easy game so far for the attacking midfielders of either side, Real Madrid and Manchester City. I'm talking about Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, talking about Dani Ceballos, Jude Bellingham. None of them are particularly shining. I think that it's more a game for either the strikers or the peripheral players, the players who play on the flanks. The game is like that. I think that Pep Guardiola probably showed that that they had to match Real Madrid's power on the left and on the right with players on the flanks as well. And, you know, I think that the most part of the game is being decided there, to the point that if you remember the goal, it was all crafted on the left. The ball didn't go through the middle at any point.
Long by Courtois for Real Madrid, who have so much talent in attack, and as if to illustrate that, the number of goals they've scored in this calendar year alone, 36 in 12 matches coming into tonight. Tonight they are 1-0 down.
Almost like Ousmane Dembélé in 2025.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think it's, what is it, 15 goals in 8 games in this calendar year for Dembélé.
It's insane.
2 goals that he scored tonight for Paris. On the halfway line for Manchester City is Guardiola, marauding in field and finding De Bruyne, and they've got men forward here in support. De Bruyne's pass towards the edge of the box is intercepted by Valverde. They go back to Thibaut Courtois, who hurriedly clears left-footed upfield, but Manchester City are winning the second balls at the moment. 11 minutes of normal time remaining in the first half, and they lead 1-0. Foden, all left foot, corner of the area. De Bruyne on the overlap, crosses, and it's cleared away by Asensio.
A goal for Juventus. Weston McKennie has absolutely whacked one into the back of the net after some scrappy build-up. It felt him on the edge of the box, and he's whistled one beyond Walter Benitez. Juventus 1, PSV 0.
This is UEFA Champions League Matchday Live. Goals as they go in from elsewhere. And of course, full commentary from the city of Manchester Stadium tonight. Manchester City quite dominant territorially at the moment as well. Midway inside the Real Madrid half with Nathan Ake, slightly left of centre. Crossfield ball from left to right, picks out Foden with ease. Foden lets the ball drop onto his left foot. Into the penalty area, shoots, tipped away by Courtois. It'll drop down to Savinho. Inside the penalty area now, shuffles away from goal. Back towards the left touchline, rasping drive by Foden, turned away by Real Madrid's number 1.
Great chance for Phil Foden in one of his favourite positions as well, just drifting inside with a strong shot. Thibaut Courtois could only clear the ball.
De Bruyne's cross is too close to the goalkeeper, first time right-footed, and Courtois, who has produced many a great performance, many a memorable performance against Manchester City in some of these ties over recent years. It's the sort of save with his high standards that you'd almost expect him to make, but it was quite the rasping drive from Foden. Stays just 1-0 to Manchester City.
Chance for Sporting. They've just forced Gregor Kobel into an excellent save in that match in Lisbon. It remains 0-0 there.
Manchester City are trying to turn the screw here. Bernardo Silva into the penalty area, on the angle to Haaland, who shoots! Good block! Asensio sliding in, almost at the last moment, as Haaland prepared to find the bottom corner.
And I think the shot of Erling Haaland had all the danger in the world. I mean, he was in his preferred position with the left. I know, an acute angle, but still, the shot looked really sharp. And again, Asensio shows that he's a really good savior. He's a last-ditch defender. He's got this ability. And, you know, he has prevented Manchester City from scoring the second one.
1-0 they lead, the home team, the Premier League side. In the 37th minute, Kevin De Bruyne with the in-swinging corner, and the header is over the top. Looked like it kissed the bar on its way over from Manuel Akanji at the near post. Manchester City at the moment doing everything but add to their lead.
Because I really think that Manchester City has spotted this Real Madrid weakness. I'm gonna call it weakness because they don't have centre-backs available. It's not a structural problem, it's a problem that happens now, it's a circumstantial thing. But Manchester City is playing with 5 centre-backs, and in the corners and in the set pieces, and I could see it in the first corner of the game, or the first set piece of the game, Manchester City went at it with everything they had. I think that this is going to make a difference, or could make a difference in the second half. Manchester City is attacking the corners with Akanji, John Stones, Erling Haaland, and many more tall players against Real Madrid. And I think that eventually this may cost Real Madrid one scare or two.
That's the voice of the European football expert Alvaro Romeo with us tonight. And on the halfway line, Savinho slides in effectively for Manchester City, right in front of Carlo Ancelotti, who has quite a lot to ponder at the moment. Nearly 38 minutes into the first leg. A miscue by Camavinga and a throw to Manchester City on the halfway line. City have not always been as consistent, obviously, as we're used to seeing them in the Premier League, although they have produced some standout performances, but this has to be one of Manchester City's best first halves of the season so far.
Well, definitely, 100%, I agree with you. I think that they needed a half like this. They are playing with the togetherness that I like. I think that there is probably not a bigger distance than 25, 30 yards between the defenders and the strikers, so they are very compact today. And I don't think that makes Real Madrid, obviously, like an opponent that is not going to have their chances, because they have had them already. But Manchester City has to play like this, keep the ball, make Real Madrid run without the ball, and this is the way for them. This is the way for Manchester City.
Haaland couldn't reach the ball inside the centre circle. Real Madrid go long down their right. Early high ball towards Rodrigo, who can't keep it in play. He was always second favourite to reach it, and it's a goal kick to Manchester City. And
you said before that probably Carlo Ancelotti has some things to ponder for during the half-time for the second half. I think one of them will be why Camavinga, Ceballos and Bellingham hadn't had a connection today. Because Real Madrid hasn't had the ball a lot, and I think that their best way of attacking was sending long balls to Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe. Of course, this is dangerous, I know that, but the midfield of Real Madrid hasn't been too creative today. Of course, Manchester City has had most of the ball, but Jude Bellingham and Ceballos especially have to appear a little bit more. They have to step out a little bit more, because otherwise, you know, Real Madrid is not going to rest with the ball. Manchester City is going to have most of it, and Real Madrid will have to run a lot to recover it, and in the long run, that drains your energy away.
And Manchester City now enjoying a lot of possession in the game, with 4.5 minutes of normal time remaining at the end of the first half. Ruben Dias, very calm midway inside his own half of the field. Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 0. It remains. Nathan Ake back to the goalkeeper. Ederson again, back in the Manchester City side for the first time since the last game of the league phase at home to Club Brugge. Now Stones. Lip of the centre circle, just inside his own half. Little chip over the halfway line to De Bruyne, who can now tear forward up the inside right. Finds Foden on his outside. Foden caught on the penalty area, steers the ball infield to Stones. A long way out, now Akanji wide. Out to De Bruyne again. Haaland and Foden among those in the middle, but Manchester City happy to just keep possession. Out on that far side, their right, the Real Madrid left. Manchester City playing from right to left in the first half. Ruben Dias, midway inside Real Madrid territory. Real Madrid with everybody in orange back behind the ball. Manchester City at a slow pace with Ake. Square to Ruben Dias again. There's a great accuracy in Manchester City's play so far tonight as well. Out on the right is Foden once more, and a great interchange in terms of positioning. Crossfield ball by De Bruyne. That'll be a cushioned back header by Valverde to his goalkeeper, and the attack ends.
Well, this time Manchester City couldn't produce a shot after this long possession. Real Madrid in defense was well. One thing that is quite interesting about Manchester City's setup today is the fact that they don't have fullbacks per se. I think that
heavy touch by Ake, seized upon by Rodrigo. It's 3 against 2. Rodrigo down the middle and weaving into the penalty area. Sets off Vinicius Junior. The angle is against it. Right down by the dead ball line. He's taking on Nathan Ake. Twisting one way and then the other. Tries to get the shot in on the left foot, and Ake. Akanji is back. Took a deflection off him, and he gets a lot of congratulations from his teammates. So difficult to deal with is Vinicius Junior. Real Madrid do get a corner.
Well, to the point that 3 players had to help Akanji fight against Vinicius. I think that Rodrigo could have taken a shot. His pass to Vinicius wasn't perfect, and then Manuel Akanji did a very good job holding.
Rodrigo's in swinging corner, headed away by Haaland at the near post. It's come back out to the taker on that far side, the Real Madrid left. 1-0 down in the first leg. 42 minutes having been played. Real Madrid content to keep possession with Valverde. Now Camavinga, midway inside the Manchester City half. Angled ball towards the right, and Mbappe, who is a couple of metres from the edge of the penalty area. Back to Camavinga again. Square ball to the left-hand side, and Valverde. Out wide on the far side still is Rodrigo, taking on Phil Foden. Plays it back to Valverde once more. 25 metres out, onto the right foot. Thinks about the shot, and it's over the top only by a whisker. He wants a corner, does Valverde, but I think the goal kick is going to be given. It was a screamer of an effort. Very well hit. and barely over the top of Ederson's crossbar.
Well, that's the speciality of Fede Valverde. We have seen him doing these kind of things with Uruguay, with Real Madrid. His long-range shot is really powerful. This time he had to do a lot before taking the shot, because he had to leave some players behind. He has done it, and it was about to hit the crossbar. Yeah, it was a very dangerous chance for Real Madrid.
Taking that famous number 8, Fede Valverde, after the retirement of Toni Kroos. Real Madrid have won it back half the pitch, and now the edge of the penalty area is Bellingham trying to hoist the ball through to Mbappe via deflection. It wasn't Bellingham's best pass. Guardiola slides in, and Manchester City have it back now in their left-back area. Savinho tears towards halfway, and he's been fouled, and it'll be a free kick to Manchester City. 90 seconds of normal time remaining at the end of the first half, and the Premier League team lead their La Liga opponents live on UEFA.com and the Champions League app by a goal to nil.
Well, it's been a really good game, sensational so far, plenty of chances, many for Real Madrid as well. Manchester City has been more able to capitalize, that's for sure. A goal for Erling Haaland, not the first one he scores this season, of course, but the first one he ever scores against Real Madrid. And I can still sense the danger. I think Real Madrid has danger in them, but Manchester City is playing so well as well. They are staying compact, they are keeping the ball, they are carrying the ball forward, and all the team more or less shows togetherness all the time. I'm really liking what I see.
Bernardo Silva shuffles forward towards the halfway line for Manchester City, then checks his run. 14 major trophies for Bernardo Silva. There are so many winners all over the pitch in domestic football in England and Spain, or in European football, of course, as well. Both sides regulars in the latter stages of the UEFA Champions League, but only one of these two will reach the last 16, where they will meet either Leverkusen or Atletico. Header away by Tchouameni from midway inside his own half of the field, and cushioned header back to Tchouameni again from his central defensive partner Asensio. Back it goes to Courtois. Long ball downfield with his right foot, well collected by Rodrigo, gets the return ball from Mbappe and darts up to the midway point of the Manchester City half. Mendy and Vinicius Junior to his left. Vinicius Junior left edge of the penalty area, good ball across the face of goal, but Savinho's there to bring it down for Manchester City calmly and clear into 4 added minutes at the end of the first half. Real Madrid still trail.
Yeah, and what a dangerous player Vinicius can be. Again, that cross was really dangerous. He went to the 6-yard box. There was no one there to tap it in, but still.
Good turn by Bellingham on the edge of the D. Finds Mbappe, the angle against him inside the penalty area. Tried to flick the ball towards the edge of the box, but he was outnumbered, really. There were 2 or 3 in sky blue surrounding him. Manchester City won it back. Camavinga now for Real Madrid, forced to go back into his own territory, where Tchouameni is rating. Now Asensio, midway inside his own half the field. Furlong Mendy out on the left. There will be chances at both ends, we know that, in the second half. Plenty in the second leg. There are many more twists and turns to come.
And there are players who can come out and make the difference as well. I don't forget about a few players from Real Madrid, the likes, for example, of Brahim Diaz or Jeremy Doku for Manchester City, Marmoush, who have the skill and the power and the speed to come out here and make the difference with their energy.
Here is Jude Bellingham, about 35 metres out. Nutmegs Erling Haaland. Manchester City with everybody back behind the ball. 1-0 they lead into a minute of 4 added at the end of the first half. Guardiola gets back, a fine assist for the only goal so far, and he clears upfield only as far as Dani Ceballos. And Real Madrid enjoying good possession now in the closing stages of this first half. Manchester City having to do a lot of dogged work out of possession at the moment, Alvaro.
Yes, absolutely. Well, but they are up for it. I've seen Bernardo Silva, Savinho going on the floor, tackling, trying to get the ball. Just Guardiola, I think that he's been phenomenal so far, closing the flank whenever required.
Vinicius Junior so dangerous down the left, so full of pace. He's pulled it back to the edge of the penalty area. Mbappe shot deflected over the top of Ederson and behind for a corner. That really could have gone anywhere. Real Madrid have certainly not been lacking in terms of chance creation, and it took a massive looping deflection off Nathan Ake, and Real Madrid have a 4th corner.
The second chance of the game for Kylian Mbappe. I think that the shot was really dangerous, luckily for Manchester City. Ake, a step up, block the shot, and I don't know if Akanji is going to be able to continue in the game because he's on the floor.
Half-time in the other 2 late kickoffs. They're walking off in Lisbon. It's Sporting 0, Dortmund 0 there. And Juventus hold a slender 1-0 advantage against PSV at the break.
1-0 to Manchester City late in the first half here. 90 seconds of added time at the end of the first half. Rodrigo with the out-swinging corner for Real Madrid, headed away by Nathan Ake. Drops the edge of the penalty area now. And Mbappe on the left edge of the box with a whipped right-footed cross, which is headed away again. Kevin De Bruyne, and now forward by Ruben Dias, up towards halfway. A minute of added time to go. At the end of the first half, De Bruyne has robbed Tchouaméni just inside Manchester City territory. Real Madrid win it back, and they pop the ball cross-field out to the right, and Rodrigo, with City defenders aplenty in front of him. Rodrigo onto the left foot. He steered it square to Kylian Mbappe over the top, first time right-footed. Couldn't keep it down, goal kick.
No, this time it was a clear chance for Kylian Mbappe. This is one of his favorite chances, in fact. It was really, I don't know what the XG is for a normal player, but for Kylian Mbappe, the XG here is really, really, really high. I expected him to do better, yes, but on the other hand, what a pass from Rodrigo. He's again the unsung hero at Real Madrid. He has produced so many chances, so many good passes as well. It all started with the duel that Tchouaméni won first against Kevin De Bruyne, then against Phil Foden. And then the ball went to Rodrigo and did the rest of the magic. He brought the ball there for Kylian Mbappe to score, but the Frenchman couldn't.
Headed by Haaland, out in the right-wing position for Manchester City. There are only seconds remaining of added time at the end of the first half. Camavinga charges over halfway, forward of the centre circle, and Mbappe up in front of him. He's got two to the left as well. Vinicius Junior almost took it off the toes of Ferland Mendy, and that is half-time. An incredibly open and exciting first half. And the only surprise is that there's only been one goal, scored by Erling Haaland after 19 minutes of fine, neat-chested layoff. from Vinicius Jr.
Was brilliant. Kevin De Bruyne runs out and leads his Manchester City team back out onto the pitch. They have a 1-goal advantage. Can they keep that? Can they extend it in the second period? You'll find out in the company of the European football expert Alvaro Romeo and your Matchday live commentator Joe Shannon.
Well, confirmation of a half-time change for Manchester City. Rico Lewis has replaced Manuel Akanji, who can't continue, having taken a knock towards the end of the first half. That was something that we wondered whether it would be under consideration for Manchester City at half-time, and so Pep Guardiola makes that enforced change in something of a blow to Manchester City. But of course, Rico Lewis, even at the age of 20, is getting used to these Champions League nights in a Manchester City shirt.
It is a blow, though, because I think Akanji was more or less keeping Vinicius at bay with difficulties, but he was doing well. And Rico Lewis right now will have to deal with one of the most difficult opponents he can find in the world. Let's see how it goes for him.
So the second half begins. Manchester City leading by a 1-0. Live on UEFA Champions League Matchday Live. Real Madrid have possession with goalkeeper Courtois playing from right to left in the second half. Real Madrid all in that bright orange away strip. Manchester City in the sky blue with white shirts coming forward from left to right, and Haaland in the area straight away onto that left foot, and it's hit the crossbar. It'll drop down towards Bernardo Silva. Haaland again trying to shrug aside Dani Ceballos and get possession, but he can't this time. And a big let-off for Real Madrid. Less than 35 seconds into the second period, Haaland somehow from a tight angle fashioned a better angle for a shot, and it hits the woodwork and stays out. That's the second time.
Ball at the back of Tchouaméni. I think that there are many ways of attacking in this game. Direct football, passing football, Real Madrid with through balls. I mean, we have seen only an appetizer in the first half. I think that the second half is going to be more succulent even.
Valverde in the right back position for Real Madrid, pushes the ball infield to Camavinga, and now Asensio on the edge of his own penalty area. Ferland Mendy left back spot. Real Madrid created a plenty in the first half, but couldn't quite find their usual killer touch in front of goal. They're 1-0 down. Live on UEFA Champions League Matchday Live with our North American listeners listening in on Sirius XMFC. Hello to you. Long raking ball downfield by Courtois, header away by Ruben Diaz. It was cushioned into the path of Guardiola, who gets great credit for his assist in the build-up to Erling Haaland's only goal of the game so far. Tchouaméni now controls, plays the ball over the halfway line to Rodrigo, who dribbles infield, checks his run, goes back out wide to the right, and Valverde again in front of Bernardo Silva and Savinho. Real Madrid with easy possession on the halfway line, and Carlo Ancelotti with some work to do at half-time, of course, but well aware of the attacking quality in his side and the quality that they can still bring into the team off the bench, of course.
Well, I think that in the first half, one of the best things for Real Madrid to attack was to pass the ball to Rodrigo. I think Rodrigo did a lot of leg work for Real Madrid. Some of the creative responsibility relied on him, and he raised to the challenge as well. I think finding Rodrigo is pretty much like the safe bet for them, for Manchester City. They should, for Real Madrid, they should do it more. And I'm just thinking about Pep Guardiola a little bit now, how unlucky Manchester City has been with the injuries today as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, they have lost Manuel Akanji and also Jack Grealish, because we have forgotten about it probably. But that happened in the first half. And, you know, probably Pep Guardiola didn't want that, because Grealish was having a terrific game.
Phil Foden on the attack, inside right channel, now drifting into a central area, setting up Guardiola from the edge of the box, deflected shot, and that will drift behind for a corner to Manchester City, away to our right at the south end of the city of Manchester Stadium.
A very good movement, left to right, right to left. The ball fell on Joško Gvardiol's feet, and we know that he can be dangerous from that position. Corner kick for Manchester City.
1-0 they lead on a dark and chilly night. The first of two legs, of course, to come, with Leverkusen or Atletico waiting in the UEFA Champions League round of 16. Erling Haaland is forward as part of the players in the penalty area. Foden's corner it to the near post, headed away. And hooked further clear by Mbappe from the edge of the Real Madrid box. It'll be retrieved by Savinho, who trots back towards the halfway line and finds Ruben Dias. 5 minutes into the second half. Manchester City have enjoyed nearly 60% of the possession over the course of the game so far.
Yeah, they've been good with the ball. I mean, the best thing about Manchester City today, when they had the ball, is that they were moving like a unit. It wasn't a disjointed team, and that has to please Pep Guardiola a lot, because that is the ABC of his football, basically. Stay together, make sure that the positional game works, and you know, I think in the first half they have done it very well.
Two of the most successful managers in the history of the UEFA Champions League. Ancelotti, the most successful, having won the trophy 5 times while in the dugout, and 3 managerial Champions League triumphs for Pep Guardiola.
And if you want to have another stat, Pep Guardiola has played against Real Madrid 13 times, which is a lot of times in the Champions League.
Well, it's
many with Barcelona, with Bayern,
and now with Manchester City.
With Manchester City.
They just love meeting each other in this competition, usually in the deep latter stages, of course, but it's an absolute treat to see them go head-to-head so early on in the knockout phase. Guardiola on the halfway line for Manchester City, who are relatively comfortable at the moment, but of course you just can't discount Real Madrid in this first leg or in the tie, particularly given that Manchester City have just a single goal lead. Over the top goes De Bruyne, hopeful ball high up the inside right, header away by Tchouaméni before it could reach Erling Haaland. The rest of the City subs: Ortega, Marmoush, Kovacic, Doku, Gonzalez, Gundogan, Mateus Nunes, Kusanov, O'Reilly and McAtee. And I give you the Real Madrid substitutes as well, yet to make a change. Lunin and Sergio Mestre, the goalkeepers. Modric, Goulet, Endrick, Vallejo, Fran Garcia, Brahim Diaz. As Real Madrid come forward down the far side, their right. Valverde's forward, level with the edge of the penalty area, cuts it back to Mbappe, little flick into the feet of Camavinga, back out wide, and then back infield to Camavinga again, 25 metres out. To the left of centre is Dani Ceballos, now corner of the penalty area. Vinicius Junior escapes Lewis, drills in the cross, headed wide by Bellingham. Chance.
Just about it. I mean, a good chance for Real Madrid. Jude Bellingham just hit the ball from a very good position. I know it wasn't easy because the ball was going towards him really strong, but still, Jude Bellingham was in the right place. And against Atletico de Madrid, and I said it in the first half, Real Madrid used Jude Bellingham as an attacking outlet in the second half, a lot of times. Jude Bellingham coming from midfield, just with his header, can create havoc in the opponent. And this is something that Real Madrid knows how to do, and they do it a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if this happens again. Jude Bellingham hidden in the edge of the box, and when he knows that it's the right time, he times his run and he goes for it.
The ball is with Real Madrid on the halfway line, and Jude Bellingham, good quick feet to evade Foden up the inside left, and then he hoists the ball towards the edge of the box high, headed away by Nathan Ake. Manchester City go back to goalkeeper Ederson. The rest of the Real Madrid subs: Gonzalo, Ramon, Kema Andres and Lorenzo Aguado. Manchester City lead in the first leg by a 0-0, 8 minutes into the second half.
Juventus no longer lead. It is 1-1 in Turin. Ivan Perisic, who is now playing his football with PSV, has equalised, got the ball on his right foot, shifted it onto his left, and has scored with a very good finish inside the near post. 1-1 in that game.
Real Madrid trying to find an equaliser here. Rodrigo, right corner of the penalty area, tries to dribble beyond Gvardiol, gets the dead ball line. Mbappe from the pullback, saved by Ederson. Sharp reflexes at the near post as Mbappe goes close again. He's now had a hat-trick of chances in the game, and they've won it back half the pitch straight away. Rodrigo to the feet of Bellingham. 35 metres out. Wide left is Vinicius Junior, shaping to cut onto the right foot, darts onto the left, dead ball line, he pulls it back again, and this time Ruben Dias is in the way and it's a corner.
Good chance for Real Madrid, definitely. A great run by Rodrigo. Again, Rodrigo has been, in my opinion, the unsung hero of this game for Real Madrid. He's doing so many things and so well. This pass for Kylian Mbappe was perfect. The Frenchman hit the ball well, but Ederson was in the right place. He cleared it, and then Vinicius against Rico Lewis, another duel, and the Brazilian is getting the best or the better of the Englishman so far.
Kylian Mbappe, after the corner was taken short, whips the ball in, really fizzed in right-footed, headed away up into the air by John Stones of Manchester City. That lead is a very slender one, by a goal to nil. Erling Haaland in the first half, but Real Madrid starting to see a little more of the ball, a little more territory, and with Real Madrid's potency in the attack, you feel that one of these chances is eventually going to end up in the back of the net, Alvaro.
I mean, you can say that, yeah. I think that that would be the biggest probability, that if Real Madrid keeps on creating chances, they are going to end up scoring. I think that also the second half is giving a couple of hints to Real Madrid about where to send the ball, how to attack. I think that the duel between Vinicius and Rico Lewis can be a little bit unbalanced, just because Vinicius is too good for everyone. And also the fact that Jude Bellingham is already coming from the second line just to help in the box, just to attack, just to shoot. I mean, that's something that Real Madrid can benefit from. Manchester City needs a possession. They need a possession to rest with the ball a little bit and to start creating again some doubts in Real Madrid. That's why maybe Mateo Kovacic is about to come onto the pitch, just to fortify the midfield a little bit and to help having the ball a little bit more for Manchester City.
The former Real Madrid player, Kovacic, to come on, didn't play in any of their 3 Champions League victories while he was at the club, but of course he's gone on to win the UEFA Champions League with Chelsea and with Manchester City. The ball is back with Courtois, the Real Madrid goalkeepers. We tick slowly towards the hour mark in the first leg, the second leg in 8 days' time. You're with UEFA.com and on the Champions League app. Kylian Mbappe racing down the inside right channel. Guardiola slides in and he gets a half tackle in, an important touch to send Mbappe away from goal. Back it goes to Fede Valverde. Mbappe right corner of the penalty area. Bellingham calling for it square. Mbappe goes alone, lays it square down to Dani Ceballos, pokes it on to Rodrigo. Now Vinicius Junior. Angle is tied against him inside the area. Good tackle by Lewis. Yep. The substitute standing up to the challenge this time.
And he definitely needed a tackle like this as well to believe that he can get the ball away from Vinicius Junior too. Another good tackle by Josko Guardiola as well on Kylian Mbappe. Before he got into the box, he just went on the floor. It was almost perfect. It wasn't perfect because the ball ended up coming back to Kylian Mbappe, but Josko Guardiola stopped a chance from happening. So really good by the Croatians, I have to say.
Still only 23, Josko Guardiola, who really came into prominence from a goal-scoring perspective for Manchester City at the back end of last season and has taken that into this campaign. Kovacic waiting to come on. Nearly 58 minutes have been played. Here come Manchester City with Guardiola, who seemed to stop as he crossed the halfway line, but plays a quick 10-metre ball forward to De Bruyne, tearing towards the edge of the box. Hard, and the angle is against him. Forced away from goal by Asensio. Now he's got his back to goal. Feeds Savinha. Left corner of the penalty area. Now Gvardiol looks to take aim on his left foot. Checks back inside onto the right. Camavinga gets a tackle in. Real Madrid looking to break as they seek an equaliser. Rodrigo shy of halfway. Plays it wide to the right, and now Vinicius Junior with Valverde on the overlap. Mbappe making a forward run into the penalty area. It's laid back to Dani Ceballos, dead centre, 25 metres out, blocked off by Bernardo Silva at the expense of a foul. Free kick, dangerous position to come.
Can't take your eyes off this game. There has been the first goal of the night in Lisbon, and Dortmund lead. Sergio Girassi with another goal for the German Bundesliga side. That happened just after Sporting brought on top scorer Victor Gyökeres, who still isn't 100% fully fit. So he's on the pitch, but Sporting are behind. Dortmund 1 up. It remains 1-1 between Juventus and PSV. Earlier, Paris Saint-Germain won 3-0 away at Brest. Remember, all 4 of tonight's games, the first legs of these new knockout phase playoffs, all the winners go through to the round of 16.
Well, the goals are flying in tonight on UEFA Champions League Matchday Live. Just the one so far at the City of Manchester Stadium, but chances are plenty since Erling Haaland's 19th minute opening goal. We have played just under an hour. Real Madrid have a free kick in a very dangerous position, right of centre, between 20 and 25 metres out. And there's a 4-man wall in place for Manchester City, with Bernardo Silva lying behind the wall. as 2 or 3 Real Madrid players size this one up, Alvaro.
My suspicion is that Fede Valverde is going to take it. He's got a very powerful shot, but Dani Ceballos is a good taker too.
Valverde tried to drill it low, it hit the bottom of the wall. It's come back out to Dani Ceballos over the top, Mbappe on the volley. He's missed it, but it's gone in. It's 1-1. Kylian Mbappe gets his goal, took a big swing at it, and it sort of glanced off the edge of the boot, sliced up into the air, beat the helpless Edison, and Real Madrid are back in it on the night, and right back in it in the tie as well. The travelling fans celebrate, an hour gone, Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 1.
Well, it was the second ball, a second chance for Real Madrid after not scoring that free kick. The ball went back to them. I think Manchester City's defense was maybe not keeping all the attention needed. Kylian Mbappe was very clever, just to find a space behind Nathan Ake, and as well, I believe that it was Joskov Guardiola, and at the end he scored this beautiful goal. The volley wasn't perfect, it wasn't perfect at all. He hit it with a seam path, but the trajectory of the ball was diabolical, and it ended up getting in the net. What a goal from Kylian Mbappe, and what a moment in the game, because this could be a turning point in the whole situation. Real Madrid was being better in the second half, and they got their goal.
Well, it just seemed to loop up into the air, hang in the air for an age, and Mbappe, at the 4th time of asking really over the course of the game, not to be denied, and a Real Madrid fan has unfurled his famous number 9 in the away section, that orange shirt. Kylian Mbappe with his 23rd goal of the season in all competitions, and it's 1-1, and all smiles after the goal in terms of the celebrations. Vinicius Junior, Mbappe and Jude Bellingham as Manchester City make their change. Kovacic replaces Nathan Ake. I think there was an acknowledgement that it was a miss-hit by Mbappe, but in fairness, with all of the effort that he's put in to the 4 chances that he has had, this one, by hook or by crook, has ended up in the back of the net. Manchester City come forward straight away. 1-1 the score. De Bruyne right down the middle. He's threaded it left into the path of Savinho. Left edge of the area with a floated cross, and it's taken high up above his head by Thibaut Courtois. Well, which way will this game swing next? Over an hour gone in the first leg, 1 apiece, and we said it in the first half, Alvaro Romeo. There'll be more twists and turns tonight. There'll be more in the second leg next week. You just can't call a 2-legged tie in particular between these two.
And of course, and now I remember in the preview of the game, Chris was asking us about Mbappe and Haaland, and you know how important they are for the respective clubs. And the truth is that they are 2 of the best number 9s or forwards in the world. They have scored today. With them on the pitch, things like this can happen as well. Kylian Mbappe, I have to say about him, this season he admitted that he had a little bit of a low point. He hit rock bottom in a way. When playing at Bilbao, he didn't find his form, he missed a penalty, he missed a couple of penalties in a couple of weeks too, but ever since then, it was like mid-November, he's been really good, scoring a lot of goals, and this is what he signed for Real Madrid for. I mean, to make a difference in games like this, and he can score his goals.
The score is 1-1 in the first leg, and Mbappe is racing forward to the corner of the penalty area. Ball with the outside of his foot towards the edge of the box, only half away. Valverde drills it just wide. Right-footed on the angle, he raced onto it, took it first time, and that must have been very close to nestling inside Edison's right-hand post.
Only Fede Valverde has the energy to start this action, like 40 yards away, disjointed from the rest of the game, and he managed to get there, to shoot in position, and he produces this lovely shot. It was about to be a goal. It was about to be a goal. Manchester City has been lucky that Fede Valverde misfired a little bit. It's 1-0, but right now, Manchester City needs to have the ball a little bit more. That's why Mateo Kovacic came on. I think that was the whole point of Pep Guardiola when bringing in the Croatian. But Manchester City needs a possession, as I say, because Real Madrid right now is having a lot of attacking sequences at their end, and if you let them have one more, they will score.
Well, this game has got the intensity and breathlessness of a UEFA Champions League final, as De Bruyne wins the ball back with his back to goal on the edge of the Real Madrid penalty area. Gvardiol with a deflected cross, it loops up towards Haaland at the back post, out-muscled by Ferland Mendy. Remember, Manchester City not lost at home in 35 European matches. 1-1 the score as Bellingham tears up the left. Good tackle by Kovacic with the red boots on the stretch. Out of play for a Real Madrid throw. You do feel that perhaps that proud home record for Manchester City could be under threat tonight in the first leg of the knockout round playoff. Pep Guardiola pacing up and down the near side touchline. I wonder how long he might leave it before Manchester City perhaps make another substitution. Real Madrid coming on strong in the game. In the 20th minute of the second half now, Vinicius Junior with a crossfield ball left to right towards Mbappe. I tell you what, he nearly plucked that out of the air in front of Stones on the edge of the D, but Stones did enough to shrug him aside, and now Kovacic up over the halfway line, chips it over the top towards Haaland. Out comes Courtois. Oh, and he's caught that with calm and poised. Courtois one-handed before Haaland could get to it.
Well, playing direct to Erling Haaland is an option for Manchester City. I keep on repeating this every time they do that, and every time he has to battle with Tchouaméni, I think that Erling Haaland can get the better of the Frenchman.
Dream few minutes for Borussia Dortmund. Pascal Gross has just fired them into a 2-0 lead away from home against Sporting. Vicious cross in from the right-hand side, and he met it perfectly. 2 goals in a couple of minutes. Sporting 0, Dortmund 2, and it's still 1-1 in Turin, Joe, between Juventus and PSV. Remember earlier, Paris 3-0 winners at Brest. These first legs really beginning to take shape now.
What a piece in the northwest of England. Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 1. Live on UEFA.com and the Champions League app, and in North America on Sirius XM FC. Early ball by Bellingham, right to left to the edge of the penalty area. Bellingham with a left-footed shot, saved by Ederson. Turned it away impressively there, the goalkeeper. What a pass from Valverde towards Bellingham. But Ederson made a super save. Now Manchester City on the counter. Hit down the middle by Haaland, and Valverde's there on the cover this time. Back in a defensive area to shepherd it back to Thibaut Courtois. There have been important saves now made by both goalkeepers.
Yeah, and Jude Bellingham coming from the second line. That is something that Real Madrid can use. Even if the Englishman today has been quiet, he still has that fire in him. And what a save by Ederson, by the way. I think that this save has been important for
reverse ball to Vinicius Junior to Mbappe. The flag has stayed down. Mbappe right-footed, hits the post, but the flag does go up as we expected it to do. He looked a couple of yards offside there. The great French striker Kylian Mbappe from the reverse ball from Vinicius Junior that was delightfully played. Only just offside, I think, judging by the replay on our monitor in the commentary position. Opened up his body, tried to steer it into the corner beyond Ederson. 1-1, but with a quarter of the game to go, Real Madrid feel the more likely at the moment to take the lead.
Yeah, because they are recovering the ball very quickly. I think the pressure of Real Madrid is working very well. They've got a little bit more energy, I would say, as well, especially in midfield. And for me, it's very important that Mateo Kovacic starts just dictating a little bit the game for City. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult for them, really, because Real Madrid's counter-attack is paying dividends for Los Blancos.
Kovacic nearly ran into Haaland there, and Mendy made a half tackle. It's broken to De Bruyne, 30 metres out. Asensio safety first, hacks the ball into touch. Manchester City throw on the far side, midway into the Real Madrid half, and the City fans are making themselves heard. They beat Real Madrid in the last 4, 2 seasons ago, on their way to claiming a first UEFA Champions League title. Real Madrid have won it 15 times, more than anybody else, the current holders. Here now is Stones, middle of the Real Madrid half, and Real Madrid have everybody in orange back behind the ball. Angled ball by Kovacic out to the right, and Phil Foden, 22 minutes to go. At normal time anyway. Foden back to Ruben Dias. Out wide to Foden again. I wonder if both managers would take a 1-1 draw at the end of the first leg. Foden up to the edge of the D, onto the left foot. He steered it wide to the left-hand side. Savinho with the cross. Hits the back of Valverde. It's a corner, or do they both want to win the first leg?
Yes, of course. That's why they are still going at it. Great run by Phil Foden right now, by the way. You need someone to carry the ball a little bit, to create a little bit of unbalance in Real Madrid, and he did it. It's a corner for Manchester City.
Which De Bruyne will take. Close to the Real Madrid away section. Floated right-footed high towards the goalkeeper, Courtois, with the easiest take really he'll have tonight. Yeah,
maybe the execution this time, at the time taking the corner wasn't the best. Easy ball for Thibaut Courtois. But I don't forget that Manuel Akanji hit the crossbar after a corner kick in the first half for Manchester City. The danger is there still for Pep Guardiola's side.
They've hit the bar twice, Manchester City, in the course of the game. Real Madrid once. I'm losing track of all the chances we've had. High ball thundered downfield towards Mbappe, edge of the penalty area. It's bounced through to Ederson. Mbappe was under good pressure from Stones. There was a little high five between Mbappe and Stones, acknowledgement of the tussle between those two. Kovacic crosses the halfway line for Manchester City. Just over 20 minutes remain now. You don't want the first leg to end.
No, absolutely. This game is intense, it's high-paced. I think that both teams, they really want to win it. Maybe the time comes soon when they try to limit damages and to leave it everything to do for the second leg. But so far, we are not at that stage. So let's enjoy it while it lasts. I would say that Manchester City has suffered in the second half a little bit, hence the goal of Kylian Mbappe. But they got, new players on the pitch like Kovacic. I think that Phil Foden, little by little, is looking more sharp as well. So everyone has arguments to believe that they can win this game, of course.
Real Madrid sitting off Manchester City as Kovacic angles the ball towards the right, the near side of Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva, couple of step overs. Early ball on the angle to Lewis, who pulls it across towards Haaland. And it's hit Haaland and gone behind for a goal kick. Rico Lewis almost on the dead ball line, a metre or so from it. The angle was very tight, a wonderful reverse pass from Bernardo Silva. But the cross was fizzed at the chest of Haaland, who could only knock it behind. He never really had it under control, Alvaro.
No, he didn't. It was impossible to react to that ball. I think that looking at it with a little bit of 10 seconds, 15 seconds perspective, maybe Rico Lewis had a shot on target or the possibility to take the shot, but he couldn't see it, obviously. And on top of that, he got a little bit of a hit by Asensio. But anyway, a good move by Bernardo Silva. Rico Lewis did the right run. And Manchester City has improved gradually after going through a difficult time between the 50th and the 65th minute.
He was betting him on the halfway line for Real Madrid. He's crossed halfway. He's got Camavinga to his right-hand side, attacking the corner of the penalty area now for Real Madrid. Camavinga onto the left foot. Low shot turned away by Guardiola, the first man. And now the ball has dropped to De Bruyne, whose square ball into the middle of the Manchester City half does reach Haaland, who did spectacularly well to steer it to the left under the challenge of 3 Real Madrid players. And the referee, I think he tried to play an initial advantage. There wasn't really one, and sensibly Clement Turpin has stopped the game. And a free kick to Manchester City, 1-1 with 18 minutes left.
I think that Erling Haaland has been really good today. I really think so. Not only he has scored the goal, but his movement has been good. I think that his runs were very well timed, very clever. Has he been offside today? I don't think so.
Not once that I can remember.
No, because he's moving and he's timing the runs very well. And on top of that, look at him now. If he hadn't won that duel, I think Real Madrid would have had another attacking opportunity. And he went there, he won the duel, he won the fall for Manchester City. It's a good game by the Norwegian player, and he also hit the post.
Well, the 2 key men have scored. Haaland in the first half, Mbappe with the equaliser in the second. And that's why it's still 1-1 on UEFA Champions League Matchday Live. Kovacic, middle of his own half. Forward to Guardiola in that inverted role, sitting in the centre circle. Back to Ruben Dias in sky blue. Now Kevin De Bruyne wearing the captain's armband. Early ball up the left, the far side, tried to thread it forward to Savinho. Was cleared by Valverde, and then De Bruyne trips Camavinga. Free kick to Real Madrid. Just in the last couple of moments, we have maybe seen the tempo drop a little, Alvaro. That's understandable, isn't it? Because both sets of players have put such a lot into the game.
Yeah.
And at what point, well, I know these 2 managers, they're never going to be conservative. They're always going to look to win, but is there a point with time ticking away that they do set up a little more defensively, maybe?
I think it's that since we don't have the away goal rule anymore, I think that the draw at home is not about the result. In the past, it was a little bit like, now I have to go to the opposition ground and score there. Now there is no need for that. So obviously that changes the mentality, inevitably. So that could happen, but it hasn't happened yet, in my opinion, because we think that the game has settled down a little bit, but 3-4 minutes ago, there was a goal chance as well. So chances keep on coming, that's for sure. Whether Real Madrid and Manchester City will play with a little bit more caution, we'll see it. But I believe that Real Madrid doesn't know how to do that, really. And whenever they recover the ball, they have this muscle memory of going forward, because you know that Vinicius and Mbappe are sprinting forward, just giving you an option. So it's so tempting to give them the ball. But I don't think the game is going to slow down a lot, really. Just basically because some of the individuals in this game don't want it that way.
Here is Ruben Dias, midway inside his own half the field. He looks up and he plays a square pass to the feet of Stones. 2 more injuries for Manchester City tonight to think about, Akanji and Grealish. They have had injury issues. They've only just started to get players back. And Clement Turpin has stopped the game. Quarter of an hour to go. Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 1 in this knockout playoff round first leg. All for the right to reach the last 16. Where Leverkusen or Atletico will be waiting. Quick word from the referee for Asensio and Haaland. That's been an interesting head-to-head tonight. And the two just tussling off the ball, but I think it's all been sorted now. They're both good competitors, and of course Haaland with all of his experience, even at the age of 24.
24, yeah. 24 years old, but you were breaking down a few numbers before. I mean, he has scored 48 goals in the Champions League in as many games, yeah, which is incredible. But for Asensio, this is a good learning too. I think that you know, there is an opportunity for him to stay in the first team squad. Ever since Nacho left, especially, a player from the academy is always welcome in football squads too. And he's doing well against Erling Haaland, proving that he is not scared about playing in such a scenario like the Manchester City ground.
Here are Manchester City with Stones, midway inside the Real Madrid half. A little more cagey now with less than a quarter of an hour to go. Kovacic wearing number 8, shirt tucked in, finds Stones square. Real Madrid sitting in front of Manchester City, allowing them to have possession in and around the centre circle. Everybody in orange behind the ball. Kevin De Bruyne turns in field, the 33-year-old, back to Kovacic again, red boots on. Now Dias to the right of the centre circle, it remains 1-1. Dias meandering, really at walking pace this Manchester City. No great threat to the Real Madrid goal for the moment, though of course both teams have got the ability to unlock defences at any moment. Rico Lewis up to the pace, Phil Foden caught in the penalty area, and he was blocked off by Dani Ceballos, and the referee has said penalty. That was right on the edge of the box. Dani Ceballos on Phil Foden, penalty to Manchester City.
A moment of individual skill by Phil Foden. He got the ball. Everyone was passing the ball patiently, as you said, but Phil Foden decided just to accelerate the whole thing a little bit. He went past Ferland Mendy, and then he crashed with Dani Ceballos. I think there is a clash in there, yeah, it's a clear one. And then, you know, he was inside the box. Phil Foden went on the floor, and the referee, Clement Turpin, didn't have any doubt. He spotted at the penalty spot, and let's see if this doesn't get overturned. But so far there is a penalty for Manchester City, and also Phil Foden is on the floor. Hopefully nothing has happened to them. Now has happened to him, because Manchester City has suffered already two injuries in this game.
Well, that looks like a really nasty clash of legs, and who'd be a referee? We've just seen a replay of the two coaches. Pep Guardiola, adamant it's a penalty. Carlo Ancelotti, sure it's not. But big moment coming up at the City of Manchester Stadium. Just to quickly update you, Juventus have literally just taken the lead in their home game against PSV. Vlahovic is celebrating. I'm not sure if he got the final touch, or whether it might have been Samuel Bangula, the substitute. But Juventus, with 8.5 minutes left, are 2-1 up at home to PSV now. A close range finish there. That could be a huge goal for them. It's still Sporting 0, Dortmund 2.
Well, Foden is back on his feet after that nasty collision with Dani Ceballos that led directly to the penalty. Knee on knee. The Real Madrid player, has to be said, didn't get close to the ball, and the referee, good spot, Clement Turpin. And Manchester City, with the VAR check, I think still going on, are expecting to be able to take a penalty here, with 11.5 minutes of normal time remaining at the end of the first leg, and the score 1-1.
Confirmation, Samuel Bangula did get the final touch to slam it home. He's the goal scorer for Juventus, who are 2-1 up.
So it will be a Manchester City penalty. What a moment in the knockout playoff round tie. 79 minutes into the first leg. Up step, who else but Manchester City's number 9. Erling Haaland, with records tumbling all around him all the time. This for a 49th UEFA Champions League goal. Manchester City fans, some can't bear to watch. Rodri watching on from in the stands. And some are enjoying the moment, relishing the moment. It's certainly the sort of moment that Erling Haaland looks forward to, even against one of the best goalkeepers in the history of European football, Thibaut Courtois. We said there would be a twist. Haaland with a penalty, puts it in left-footed. Goalkeeper went the wrong way, and the twist is that Manchester City lead again. Haaland, picture perfect from the spot. He's on a hat-trick. It's Manchester City 2, Real Madrid 1.
And the perfect execution by Erling Haaland. The goal, the second one for Manchester City, left foot, impossible for Thibaut Courtois. And we're talking about a player who has scored already 49 Champions League goals in 48 games. There was no doubt that Erling Haaland was going to take it. He's the leader when it comes to these situations. He stepped up, and as I said, it was an unstoppable penalty, the perfect shot. 2-1 for Manchester City.
Narrow lead here, but Dortmund are absolutely flying in Lisbon. They've just scored a third. Karim Adeyemi finishing it. The most perfect counter-attack, having cleared a Sporting attack. 5 or 6 passes later, Adeyemi scoring at the other end. What a scoreline. Sporting 0, Dortmund 3. But we have a grandstand finish coming up at the City of Manchester Stadium now. How are Real Madrid going to react to that Erling Haaland penalty in the company of Alvaro Romeo and your commentator Joe Shannon?
2-1 to Manchester City. Erling Haaland with both goals, and the second from the penalty spot. Following a period of Manchester City sustained possession, certainly, turned into real pressure thanks to Phil Foden, fouled by Dani Ceballos, and Real Madrid have 9 minutes left of normal time in the first leg to try and find themselves an equaliser. Rodrigo beaten to it by John Stones, who slides in firm but fair. Luka Modric onto the field in place of Dani Ceballos, 39 years of age, the most decorated player in the history of Real Madrid. And the ball is on the halfway line with Marco and with Raul Asensio. How do Real Madrid get themselves back into it? They've got to be careful, I suppose, Alvaro, that they don't push too hard and concede a third.
Yeah, absolutely. They shouldn't lose their mind, obviously. I think Real Madrid in the second half has been fairly good. They had their chances, they couldn't convert them. And now with the addition of Luka Modric, Real Madrid is going to have a player who can actually link the lines very well. I believe that Luka Modric maybe not ready for 90 minutes of full speed, but still for 15, 20, 25 minutes, he's still one of the best players you can bring in from the bench. And I am pretty sure that he's going to be the first option to pass when Real Madrid gets the ball back.
Manchester City edging closer to a first leg advantage. Live on UEFA Champions League, Matchday Live. How Haaland tucked the penalty away gleefully. Angled into the corner beyond Courtois, and then he raced away in celebration. As Real Madrid now have the task ahead of them of finding a second equaliser in this game. Of course, the second leg still to come in just over a week, and that will be in their minds. Another epic encounter in this classic rivalry as the ball goes back to Thibaut Courtois.
And it's good to see, Joe, that Phil Foden is good physically. You know, it looked like he could have picked an injury, a bad one actually, because it was a clash of knees with Dani Ceballos that led to a penalty. But he is fine, he's playing on the right, and I have seen him running well, so he's fully recovered.
Camavinga is fouled. Free kick to Real Madrid. Just 5 or 6 metres shy of the halfway line. Double change here for Manchester City. Here comes İlkay Gündoğan. And so too, Omar Marmoush making his UEFA Champions League debut for Manchester City. And it's Savinho and De Bruyne who go off.
I think that Manchester City needed energy. Kevin De Bruyne looked a little bit tired in the second half. I know that on Saturday he scored in the FA Cup. But right now the game was, for some reason, not going his way. He wasn't having a lot of contact with the ball. A player like İlkay Gündoğan can help linking up the game between the lines. And then Omar Marmoush, from what we have seen in the Premier League so far, he's a player with plenty of energy. And his press without the ball is really good. And, you know, every time the opponent has the ball, you get the feeling that Omar Marmoush is going to get to you and get it away from you. So I think that the substitution is pretty clever by Pep Guardiola. He waited until now, but Manchester City has fresh legs to play the last 6 minutes of the game.
And for Real Madrid, the former Manchester City player Brahim Diaz, who started his career here on in place of Rodrigo, who's been a little quieter in the second half. Manchester City 2, Real Madrid 1. 5.5 minutes of normal time to go. Long ball thundered downfield, headed away.
Yeah, I was going to say that Real Madrid has so much talent up front that a player like Brahim Diaz, who always delivers for Real Madrid. I still remember his goal at at Leipzig ground last season. It was incredible. He always delivers for Real Madrid. He cannot get enough playtime.
Header by Bellingham is a great one. Cushioned out to the left-hand side with his back to goal to find Vinicius Junior. Heads for the dead ball line, but a great sliding challenge by Lewis, who's had an excellent second half. The 20-year-old, he knows what it means to play in a Manchester City shirt. Born in the city. But here's Kylian Mbappe, edge of the D, flicks it into the path of Bellingham. Now Brahim Diaz, out to the right-hand side, gets to a turn ball from Valverde. Diaz, right edge of the penalty area, pulls it back. Valverde with a chance to cross, takes a touch, goes backwards now to Tchouaméni, hoists in a high ball. There's Ederson to take the cross high above his head. The Manchester City goalkeeper, 2-1 to the Premier League side, with time running out in the first leg for Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah, personally, I think that maybe Fede Valverde should have taken the cross instead of Tchouaméni, because Manchester City's defense was a little bit untidy when Valverde got the ball. It was the moment to send the cross, and by the time the ball got to Tchouaméni, Manchester City's defense was already quite ordered.
Oh, but City have given it away. Brahim Diaz to Vinicius Junior from a very tight angle, saved, and the rebound is lashed in. It is 2-2, and would you believe it, Brahim Diaz has scored against his old club. The man who started his career with Manchester City has equalised for Real Madrid. It's another UEFA Champions League classic between these two teams. And with 4 minutes to go, the first leg could still go either way. What a finish from Brahim Diaz, having only just come on. Manchester City 2, Real Madrid 2. Another great night of Champions League football between these two clubs.
Absolutely, and Pep Guardiola and his assistant Juan Malillo must be asking themselves, how many times do you have to kill Real Madrid? I mean, they scored the first goal of the game. They put themselves 2-1. That was the advantage, and it didn't last long, because suddenly Brahim Diaz, a player who came onto the pitch 4 minutes ago, he scored the equalizer. He didn't celebrate the goal because he was a former Manchester City player, and it's too old. I think that Manchester City had some problems playing from the back in the last action. Real Madrid spotted that, got the ball, got the counter-attack very quickly, and maybe I would say that this is kind of justice to what we have seen in the second half, with Real Madrid wasting many chances, or Ederson just being too good for them at times. So 2-2 sounds to me like it's a fair scoreline so far.
Well, which way is this first leg going to go next? So 2-2 with 2.5 minutes of normal time to go, and Manchester City's advantage, taking the lead for the second time, lasted 6 minutes in all. What a moment for Brahim Diaz. Forward by Mateo Kovacic. Crossfield to Phil Foden. Right-hand side, all left foot, taking on Mendy and whipping in a decent ball. It loops up into the air off Luka Modric, and big Thibaut Courtois, 6'7", easily beats Gundogan in the air.
Yeah, that wasn't too problematic for him, let's put it that way. He just jumped, he just got the ball. I think that it was good to see how Manchester City switching play was capable of finding Phil Foden in a very favorable position to try to dribble Mendy, but his cross wasn't good enough, and Thibaut Courtois got the ball.
2-2 feels about fair on the balance of play.
I think so, yeah, because Real Madrid hit the post. Jude Bellingham had one of those terrific chances in the second half as well. I don't forget that Ferland Mendy had probably the best chance of the game in the first half, but again, it was a problem of the last touch. His execution wasn't great, but he was in a terrific position to score as well. I would say that yes, the scoreline is fair.
John Stones has given it away to Jude Bellingham, inside left channel with Bernardo Silva at his back. Bellingham goes down, and Manchester City will sweep the ball away from danger. They've won it back with Gundogan now. Gundogan in the left-back area for Manchester City. Stays 2-2, just over a minute of normal time remaining at the end of the game. And well, to Manchester City with this proud home record in Europe, stick or twist. Kovacic 10 metres into the Real Madrid half. Out to the left-hand side. Marmoush back to Kovacic, and now on the halfway line is Stones again. Into the final 45 seconds with added time to come. Kovacic looks up in front of the sea of orange shirts, the Real Madrid players ahead of him. Kovacic again against his old team. So many connections between the two clubs. Marmoush, Manchester City's new number 7. Out on the left, the far side, under pressure from Brahim Diaz, who gets a half tackle in. He's still snapping at the heels of Marmoush. Has to go back to the halfway line, and Stones. 2-2. Ruben Diaz with a slightly hurried ball under pressure from Bellingham. Back to Stones again. Be interesting to see how much time is added on and whether that spurs either team into trying to look for a winner. Just the 3 added minutes at the end of the game. Gundogan, left of the centre circle, gets it back from Mateo Kovacic, but a goal here would surely be enough to win it the first leg for either team. Gundogan out on the left, not next to Chouameni. Oh, Valverde, he's nearly given it straight to Bernardo Silva. What a challenge by Camavinga.
Yep, he got the ball perfectly. There was no penalty, nothing at all. Camavinga played with fire, but he knew exactly what he was doing. What a nutmeg by Gundogan, by the way.
Yes, and Chouameni.
A very nice one, yeah. He was just missing perhaps that acceleration just to make it happen completely, but it was very nice to watch, yeah.
2-2 on UEFA Champions League Matchday Live. On the Champions League app, UEFA.com. It's a shame it has to end soon, with only 2 minutes of added time to go, and Real Madrid, I think, are going to take off Kylian Mbappe here, right at the very end of the game. He scored their first equaliser. The second scored by Brahim Diaz. And so tie is level at 2-2. I mean, looks like heading into the second leg.
And he's been playing football really well since November. I think that it took him some time to adapt to Real Madrid as well. Maybe physically it wasn't perfect, but now he's playing really well and scoring a lot of goals.
Full time in Turin, Juventus 2-1. They've beaten PSV. They'll take a narrow lead to the Netherlands.
Vinicius Junior darting down the left. Out comes Edison. Vinicius Junior's lobbed is over him. Bellingham is there. Bellingham has steered it in. Real Madrid have done it. They've won it. Jude Bellingham, the England international, celebrates in front of the City of Manchester Stadium, and Real Madrid have surely won a first leg classic in stoppage time. Manchester City can't believe it. Their proud home record in Europe is about to come to an end. Jude Bellingham with one of the easiest goals he'll ever score, and Real Madrid have pinched a first leg advantage right at the end of the game. There's only a minute to go. It's Manchester City 2, gleeful Real Madrid 3.
And what an ending of the game. Unbelievable. I mean, it was a little bit of a self-inflicted thing for Manchester City. Mateo Kovacic gave the ball, a difficult ball, to Rico Lewis. Rico couldn't control it. All the advantage for Vinicius. Ederson came off from the goal. Vinicius tried to lob it over the Brazilian goalkeeper. The lob wasn't perfect, but the lob, which was intended to be a goal, became an assist for Jude Bellingham, playing in his country. He just ran and he managed to put the ball in the net. And then the celebration with Brahim Diaz and the rest of the Real Madrid players is a 3-2 for Real Madrid. And Ruben Diaz cannot believe it. Manchester City cannot believe it. They were winning 2-1 about 15 minutes ago. And if nothing happens dramatically or changes dramatically, Real Madrid is going to get the win.
Well, you never know. We've had the 3 added minutes, and Real Madrid will take a first leg lead to Spain next week. What a remarkable encounter between these two clubs. Yet again, it has delivered in the UEFA Champions League. Real Madrid have somehow won that first leg by 3-2. With 85 minutes played, Manchester City were 2-1 up, but Brahim Diaz scored a second equaliser against his old team to make it 2-2. And would you believe it? England's Jude Bellingham has the final say at the City of Manchester Stadium. Of course, the tie is far from over, but Real Madrid have proven exactly why they are UEFA Champions League holders. Carlo Ancelotti with a smile at the end as he shakes the hand of the referee in the middle of the park. it will go down as yet another thrilling encounter between two teams who just love to serve up classic Champions League encounters. Manchester City were 1-0 up at half-time through Erling Haaland. Mbappe with the initial equaliser. Haaland from the spot then made it 2-1. Brahim Diaz for 2-2. And Jude Bellingham in the second minute of stoppage time has delivered a famous first leg victory for Real Madrid. The tie still feels like it might be on a knife edge, but it is advantage the holders going into next week. What a night at the City of Manchester Stadium. Manchester City's 35-game unbeaten home European record has come to an end, and how fitting that it is ended by Real Madrid. Manchester City 2, Real Madrid 3.